the art and science of success. May I request everybody that your videos be turned off throughout this training. In the Q&A period, I can let you put your videos on. Good. So we're going to see a lot of wonderful stuff in this program. We're going to talk of a lot of amazing things that minor changes, which are very logical, simple, easy to do changes inside you. Yet they give very huge, very vast and very magical results. So logical changes that gives magical results is what we are going to see through this program. We are also going to see how communication impacts us. We are also going to see how our thoughts impact us and how we can change them, not just how they impact us. That will only be a good to know, right? That won't be a useful thing if you cannot do anything about it. But how do you change it to make wonders happen? Just like your phone is a smartphone only when you install the right apps on it. Otherwise, it is just another phone for calling and SMS like the old phones, right? Similarly, you can install apps onto you so that you can do wonders, you can make things happen. So how do you make these changes in your programming? How do you install these apps onto you is what we are going to see through this program. Okay, so let's begin with a classic question. Like I said, before I begin once again, please keep your videos off. This is very important because your video may end up distracting others. So please keep your videos off and your audios are anyways off. When it comes to Q&A, when an interaction is required, I will definitely let you put your videos on. Okay. And please put your right name in your account also. Some people are logged in with their phone name like Xiaomi, etc. Okay. So please put that and I'll get back to you. Okay. So with that, let's get started. I have a quick question to begin with. Quick question to begin with. You know that all human beings and all animals more or less have a similar engineering of the body. Okay. We are standing, they are flat. We are vertical, they are horizontal. If you leave that much aside, more or less the engineering is same. The human beings breathe, the animals breathe. We see, they see, we hear, they hear, we taste, they taste, we eat, they eat. We breathe, they breathe. We have a heart, they have a heart that pumps blood across the body. We have lungs, they have lungs. We have intestines, they have intestines. We have a brain, they have a brain. More or less everything is same across human beings and animals. Yet, human beings are excelling way more advanced, way more faster. They are evolving, they are going ahead way more faster than all other animals. All other animals primarily take care of survival and reproduction. Whatever they do, they also build a home, for example. Not build a home, but find a home. But that is just for survival and reproduction. We build a home for comfort, for so many other things. They also communicate, but just enough for survival and reproduction. We create apps like Zoom and video calls and VoIP and internet and satellites and God knows so many things. Right? Everything we do is for excellence and for growth and way beyond survival and reproduction. So what could be the difference because of which human beings have excelled so well than other animals, even when more or less the engineering of the body is the same? The thinking process, the intellect, the mind, the empathy, all this is an outcome of that one thing. Emotions, thinking and talking, this is also an outcome of that one thing because of which this whole thing started. Thought. Now many of you might think it is the human brain. Our brain is more advanced, our brain is this, our brain is that than other animals. But it is way more than the brain. It is even the reason the brain is advanced is because of that one small thing. How did the brain evolve? Yes, you're saying evolved brain. Fair enough. How did the brain evolve? intelligence to inquire and ask the question why, or even the 5 W's, why, what, how, etc. How did we know that these questions are to be asked? IQ, where did it come from? Mind, nervous system. Okay, how did even animals have a nervous system? How did our develop so well? Dreams. Well, I don't know for sure. I have not talked to animal yet, but it is research says that they also have dreams. We have thoughts. Animals have thoughts too. So let me tell you what is the difference. The difference that makes this difference is the human thumb. The human thumb. Our thumb is the primary reason from where all of this started. You're saying we communicate. How did communication begin? If you go way back thousands of years ago, the human being's thumb was the primary reason why all of this started happening. Now, when I say primary reason, what exactly does it mean? Let's have an understanding. Okay. See, human beings and monkeys a little bit are the only animals who have this ability where the thumb can face the fingers. The thumb, which otherwise looks parallel to the fingers, can also move and face the fingers. The thumb can also move and face the fingers. This is the reason, this is the core where everything started. Every single thing. Saraswati is asking how. Glad the question comes from Saraswati. Good to answer. Okay. So how does this happen? Let me tell you how this happened. Okay. Way thousands of years ago, when there was no industries, when there were no machines, when there were no agriculture, the primary survival mechanism of all beings was hunting. Okay. Some would hunt for fruits, some would hunt for other animals, some would hunt for nectar, etc., etc. Fine. Now human beings, because they had the thumb facing to the fingers, found it easier to hunt because when the thumb can face the fingers, they could lift things. If they could lift things, they could throw things. Fine. Now animals also lift things, but with their mouth. However, you cannot throw with your mouth because the movement of the neck is limited. So you cannot throw very far. With a hand, you have enough throw possible. Fine. So human beings were able to lift things and throw it around. Because they could do it, they started throwing stones. When they did this, they realized it became easier for them to hunt. As a result, they started creating more tools, more weapons. As a result, they started attacking from different sides, and for that they had to communicate. So they started creating different sounds. That is how language started building up. The human thumb is the core reason where everything started. Now, because of this, they started to think. They started to create ideas. I can come from here, you go from there, I'll go from here, etc., etc. Then, because of this, they could create tools. They could create sharp objects. They could create eventually screws and screwdrivers, then machines, then agriculture, and then so many things. The core reason where all of this began is the fact that human thumb faces the fingers. Now you may say monkeys also have this. In the monkey also the thumb faces the finger. Very correct. Absolutely correct. Monkeys are a little bit ahead of many other animals. They are a bit more smarter. They are still in the evolution process, getting there, not yet there. We were faster, we got there quicker. Just like within human beings, some are more smarter than the others. Within species also, humans turned out to be more smarter than monkeys. Right? So the bottom line is, it is the human thumb. This was the difference that made all the difference. And likewise, now this difference is so subtle. You might have never thought of this. The thumb would be the reason to all of this. Right? It is so subtle. It is so automatic. It is so small that we don't even realize it. Likewise, in our day-to-day lives, there are so many things, so many places, so many opportunities, so many situations where somebody achieves better than the other, and we don't even realize what the difference is. What you're going to learn in these 2 days is the study of how to find this difference and implement it in you. Okay, so let me begin with this. Paran is asking, do we need to take notes or you will share mind maps at the end? Paran, I will share the notes, but trust me, the notes you make for yourself are the most awesome notes in the world for you. Okay, so you can still make your notes and we will share the notes of this program with you as well. Okay, now think about this. How many of you have been in a situation where you said something to somebody, but yours was not listened to? Another person said the same thing and he was listened to. For example, you applied for a leave, you didn't get it, telling that the project is in a critical stage. Another person applied for a leave, that person got it. And you wonder, how come I didn't get it? Or you didn't do your homework when you were in school. Another student didn't do his or her homework. You gave a reason, it was not accepted. You got a beating. The other person gave the same reason, but it was accepted. It's okay, beta, sit down. It could be other way around also, as in sometimes you were at the receiving end, sometimes you were at the benefiting end. Anita is saying luck. How do we become lucky? Understanding what changed, what was that minor difference in that communication can do wonders to you. How many times does this happen that one child gives a certain explanation to the parent doesn't like it, another child gives the same explanation, the parent likes it. There has to be something happening in the language, there has to be something happening in the body language, there has to be, see, if a different output is created, some difference has to happen in the input, correct? Logic says if a different output is created, some difference has to happen in the input. What is that difference? You're going to learn a wonderful thing called NLP, which is also, there are multiple definitions to NLP. The way we define it is NLP is about studying the difference that makes the difference. Studying that minor thing that makes the entire difference. So ready for it, guys? Does this sound exciting? You're going to see a lot of wonderful stuff in language, in behavior, in body language, etc., through which people make this difference happen. Sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Okay, great. Now, very quickly, let's do this. I want you to tell me, how do we get to know about what is happening around us? How do we get to know about everything that is happening around us? Senses, correct? News channels. We don't get to know what is happening. We get to know what we are supposed to know from the news channel, not necessarily what is happening. Senses, visualization, observation, listening, social media. Okay, how do you know what's happening on social media? Through your senses. The primary route into your mind is 5 senses, right? Whatever happens around you is known through you to 5 senses. And then what do you do with it? Whatever comes through your senses, what do you do? You immediately give it a meaning, right? You immediately give it a meaning. Without a pause, you give it a meaning. Whatever data comes to you, you give it a meaning. For example, while you are listening to this, it so happens that the sound stops. Okay, somebody will immediately give it a meaning. Something happened to my speaker. Somebody else will immediately give it a meaning. Something happened to Pawan's mic. Somebody else will immediately give it a meaning. Probably a network issue. Somebody else will immediately give it another meaning and another meaning. We all will come. There are 350 people here. Each one of us has the ability to come up with altogether a different reason to this. We give it an immediate meaning. And what meaning we give, in how much time, and how we communicate that meaning, and how other people give meaning to that communication, and how they respond, and how we give meaning to their response, is where the entire game happens. So let's first understand the fundamentals of how our brain works. What is the communication model of the mind? Not of you, not of your ears, etc., etc. What is the communication model of the mind? Okay. Now from here on, what I'm going to do is, until it is required, I will keep the chat private so that you are not disturbed with other people's chats. You can still keep commenting. I will be listening to you. But from here onwards, I'm going to make the chat private. Private as in your chats can reach me, but not everybody else, so that you can only focus on what I'm telling you. Okay. So let's understand how the communication model of the mind is, how the human mind communicates and works. Fine. Here we go. Imagine this blue person on the screen is you. Okay. This blue person that you see is you. And then there is an external event that happened. Okay. How does this external event come to you? It comes to you through 5 senses: sight, sound, feeling, smell, and taste. The letters in the brackets are the letters for the technical names. The technical names are visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Feeling is called kinesthetic. Smell is called olfactory. Taste is called gustatory. Okay. Don't get too much into technical right now. Understand the concept. We will come to the technicals later. Okay. So through these 5 senses, information comes to you. How much information comes to you? Roughly about 2 million bytes per moment. 2 million pieces of information are bombarded at you at every given moment. Through sound, through sight, through taste, through smell, different ways, different information keeps coming to you in different forms. Fine. The moment you open your eyes, an entire picture comes into your eyes. It may have something from outside the window, something from inside the room, something from the screen that you are seeing. So many things come to you. Fine. How much can you process out of these 2 million bytes per second? A human mind, average human mind can process anywhere between 7 plus or minus 2 bits per second. Pieces of information per second, or per moment, let us say, not even second. Second is a big term for the brain. Okay, per moment. So 7 plus or minus 2 bits of information per moment is maximum what you can process. So what happens to the remaining chunk? This 2 million pieces of information coming to you, only 7 are processed. What happens to the remaining chunk? All this remaining goes through what we call as filters. And your entire life, how you behave, how you deal with people, how you do things, etc., etc., primarily derives from these filters, from these wonderful and amazing filters. Okay, so let's have a look at what these filters are. And guys, next few minutes is very critical. You will get a huge understanding about yourself, about why and how you do things, or about your near and dear ones. If you're not at an agreement most of the time with them, you will also realize how and why they do things. Okay. So filters, all information that comes to you has to pass through these filters, so that only what you can process and that what is important to you comes to you. Okay. See, what would happen if you actually process 2 million bits of uh, information per moment? What would happen to you? If you really process that much per moment, what would happen to you? You'll go mad, you'll go crazy, right? You will have to probably be rushed into mental asylum. If that much information is consciously processed all the time, we will all go crazy. So there are a lot of subconscious filters that do all this filtration job, just so that you get exactly what you want out of it, right? At a conscious level, you can only process 7 pieces of information. Subconscious can process infinite. And that is what the subconscious does. It processes a lot, so that only that what is important to you comes up. But what are those filters? How are they created? What kind of filtering do we do? Let's have a look at that. Okay. The first filter, the primarily 3 filters. The first filter that works on you is deletion. Most of this information that comes through you is deleted by the subconscious and not even allowed to get to your conscious. It is completely deleted. Meaning, for example, you all can hear to me right now. You all can listen to me right now. Yes. And probably by now into this training, you have lost connection with all other sounds around you. take 5 seconds and just listen how many sounds are there. See how many sounds are there around you. You probably hear the birds chirping, you probably hear the fan moving, you probably hear the sound of the wind, you probably hear some boiling happening in your geyser, you'll probably hear some other people at home. So many other sounds are there, right? So many other sounds are there. They all are getting filtered, and the sound that you want to listen to is being processed at a conscious level. Everything else, the subconscious is deleting. Right now, you are listening to me, looking at me on the screen. I presume so that you're not doing 10 other things while you listen to me. But right now, you are listening to me looking at the screen. All right. Now, when you do this, are there other things around your screen? Focus on my face on your screen and look at just looking at my face. Can you still see so many other things around you? Probably the wall, probably the wardrobe, probably the table, probably something else in the room. Yes. But only when I told you this, you realize, yes, my eyes are actually capturing so much. You were so focused on the screen that everything else was getting deleted. Probably there are some smells. You are sitting on a chair, right? So there is some touch between your uh, body and the chair. That touch is not being processed, it is being deleted. Why? Because you have chosen to focus on the webinar, right? So based on what you choose to do, accordingly, many other things will get deleted. The primary filter that works first is deletion, because if you don't delete things, you will all go crazy. We will all go crazy and mad if you don't do that. So deletion is a very important and critical filter. Okay. The next filter is distortion. Distortion means changing from what it is to something else. And this is something that happens all the time in our communication, right? Somebody passes a compliment, we receive it as a comment. Sometimes you pass a compliment, the other person receives as a comment. How many of you have had this situation? With very good intention, you went to give a compliment and that person took it as a comment. How did that happen? For some people who are afraid of dogs, if they're walking on a road and they hear a dog barking, it doesn't mean dog to them. Their mind distorts it to fear. Save yourself. For them, it is not a dog. For them, it is fear. Okay. Somebody sees a very nice posh red Ferrari going on the road, right? For that person, it is not a car. For that person, it is wow, right? Beauty. So Ferrari, a engine becomes beauty. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with it. But that's how your mind distorts. Your mind changes what it is to what is a preferred meaning of it. Okay. Somebody sees a falling star. You are just sitting looking at the sky in the night and you see a falling star. For somebody, it is a falling star. For somebody else, it is luck. You change that idea of a falling star to luck. For somebody else, it is a moment to make a wish. So it comes true. You change that phenomenon of falling star to a wish. Now, how quickly does it happen? Does it take too much time to process? There is something white moving in the sky, looks like a falling star. What are all the possible options of it? One of them is make a wish. Does it take so much time really? No. Instantly, hey, falling star, make a wish. How quickly do we distort things? What it is changes to what favorably it could be for me. Right? Somebody is driving somewhere, looks at a traffic jam, gets stuck in a traffic jam. And the instant distortion is, कितने लोग गाड़ियां चला रहे हैं? How many people have got vehicles? My God. Are you are also in a vehicle, bhai? Right? But distorting things. Our mind continuously does this. It has to do that because if you start seeing everything the way it is, again you will go crazy. Right? In your mind, who am I right now? In your mind, who am I right now? Type in the chat box. Right now, who am I? Teacher or trainer or speaker or coach, something like that you might have created in your mind. Correct? Instructor maybe. Okay, fine. Now imagine every person you meet, you look at like this. This is a person with a semi-bald head and two eyes and a nose and a mouth and ears, wearing a black t-shirt with knowledge and karma written on it, sitting on a chair, it seems. What will happen to you? What will happen to you? You'll again go crazy if you start looking everything like this. So this distortion is also a very useful filter. It immediately changes things from what it is to what it is supposed to be for you. Okay. Again, this is an instant filter. Instantly it changes so many things so that you know what to do about it. The third filter, the third important filter that continuously works inside you is generalization. Is generalization. How things change from what it is to a more general thing. Okay, more general thing. Let's take some examples. Think of a mango. You thought of some picture came in front of you. Okay, now if somebody brings a Alfonso mango to you, you will say this is a mango. If somebody brings a Totapuri mango to you, you will say this is a mango. If somebody brings a Ratnagiri mango to you, you will say this is a mango. If somebody brings some totally different Chinese mango to you, you will still say this is a mango. So you generalize things, correct? When you see a certain car, if you see traffic in the road, okay, you will say how many cars are there. You're not going to say, oh my God, there are 3 Toyotas and 2 Marutis and 5 this and 10 this, and you're not going to do that. Car, you will generalize it. Many a times and very often we do generalizing. Fine. For example, when I conduct this webinar, I say that this webinar will be conducted live and online. I don't every time say this webinar will be conducted live and online on Zoom with this meeting ID and this password and so and from my MacBook, from this space, from this hardware, from this IP address. We don't get into all of that. We generalize things to take what is important to us, leave everything else apart, delete everything else, right? If somebody buys a new laptop, what does that person tell you? He tells you, I bought a new laptop, correct? Or if you look at a new laptop, you tell, good, new laptop it seems. You don't tell you, oh wow, you bought a Dell Inspiron 510 6GB hard disk, 2GB RAM, etc., right? Again, we'll go crazy with all of that. We generalize. If you understand dogs and your neighbor buys a dog, you will tell other people, my neighbor bought a Alsatian, so and so breed, so and so this, that. If you don't understand, what will you tell others? My neighbor got a dog, right? So we generalize things, and these three filters are so powerful. Now we will see what these filters do. Okay, these three filters first of all retain our sanity. They ensure that we don't go mad and crazy all the time, because if that happens, if we process everything that comes to us, we'll go mad and crazy, right? So these filters first ensure that. Second, they make it easy for us to understand and process things. Third, sometimes they go wrong as well. Sometimes they go wrong. For example, your comment is taken as a compliment, your compliment is taken as a comment, etc. Right? Sometimes these filters go wrong as well. So what happens with these filters? Let's take an example and then I'll move on with the topic. Okay. I'm going to give you a situation. A situation. Listen to that situation. Tell me what is happening here. Okay. I was walking on the road one day, and on the other side of the road, it was a beautiful road with nice trees and other stuff. Benches were also there on the road. And on the other side of the road, while I was walking, I saw that a young boy was offering a red rose to a young girl. A young boy was offering a red rose to a young girl. The young girl looked at the rose for a few seconds, smiled a little bit, happily took the rose. What's happening here? He was proposing, okay. Proposal, what else? Set hai. Greeting. Okay. What else? She accepted the proposal. Valentine's Day. See how your mind is giving meaning? Valentine's Day, love birds, this, that. Your mind is instantly changing that entire scene to give a meaning to it. Our human mind is a meaning making machine. Somebody is writing showing gratitude. Maybe something, maybe the boy has helped for something and the girl is only, the girl helped and the boy is only showing gratitude. Okay. Okay, let me complete the situation by the way. Here's what happened. The boy offered the rose, the girl smiled, took the rose, then she opened her purse, removed 10 rupees from it, gave it to the boy. The boy also smiled, happily took the 10 rupees, and the girl moved on. Now, what's happening? Sale. He was a flower seller. There we go. The girl happily accepted because she liked the rose she wanted to buy. The boy was happy because he got 10 rupees in return. He got to make some profit. How quickly our mind instantly moves on to give a meaning, instantly moves on uh, to give some kind of a thought to that situation. Now, is that good or bad? We will not get into that now. Everything is good if it is useful, and everything is bad when it is hurtful. If your mind gives meaning without processing too much, instant meaning, sometimes it is good also, right? For example, if somebody throws a knife at you, you don't want to sit and analyze. This seems to be a pointed object coming at so and so speed. I think it will reach my heart. This has the ability to pierce. If you do all that processing first, तब तक आपका पुनर्जन्म भी हो जाएगा. Right? You will have your reincarnation in that much time. But you don't have that time. You want that quick things to happen. So these filters are useful also sometimes. And sometimes they create a wrong meaning and create a lot of problems. Right? So now let's understand a little bit more on these filters with these couple of stories. So these deletion, distortion, and generalization are the three filters. Now, how are these filters created? Do you think all of you will generalize a given situation the same way? No. Will you distort it to a same different meaning? No. Will you necessarily delete the same things? No. So then what? They are created based on how you have lived your life so far, what your values are, what your beliefs are, how your attitude to a situation is, what is there in your memory, as in what your experiences so far have been, how you take decisions, what is your language. Based on so many things, these filters are created. And now it gets even more interesting from here. Okay. So many things based on all of this, your filters are created and they keep changing. They are never permanent. Okay. Somebody who is afraid of dogs at one time may start loving dogs at another time. Absolutely possible. It can be the other way around also. Somebody who loves dogs may start becoming afraid of dogs at another time. Absolutely possible. Fine. So based on what experiences you get, how you form your memory, decisions, etc., these filters take shape. Okay. Now through these filters, all the information coming through your senses, those 2 million bytes, passes through these filters and finally settles in your mind. It goes and again gets saved in your mind as the same 5 parameters: sight, taste, sound, smell, feeling. Right? For example, do you know who is Pawan Bhattad? Probably by now you know who is Pawan Bhattad. I am Pawan Bhattad. Okay. So am I there in your mind somewhere? Yes. But am I really there as a person? No, I am sitting here in my home in my chair. So what is in your mind? Probably my picture, probably the way I speak, right? Some feelings about how I teach. That's how things are saved in your mind. Apart from these 5 things, you also save internal dialogue, the communication that you have with yourself, all the self-talk as we call it. So all information that comes in gets passed through these filters and gets saved as either of these 5 senses or as internal dialogue. We're talking about the communication model of the mind for those who came in a bit late. The communication model of the mind, where a lot of information comes through our senses, gets processed through these filters, and only a little bit of it is saved in our mind. Okay. Now, the moment a new piece of information comes in your mind, one interesting thing happens. What happens? This changes your internal representation. what is it that you saw and what is it that you store will always be variable. There will be some difference. Very rarely it will be the same thing. Fine. For example, you will see a flow of water and you will save it as a river. Or somebody else may, it is a river but with very less water, somebody will save it as a canal. We all, what we see is not necessarily what we store how we represent it in our mind through these five senses and the internal dialogue. Now, every time a new piece of information comes, there is a slight change in this internal representation, which eventually affects your emotional state. Right? You left home very happily, very excited, very confident for a meeting that you want to reach to, in the best state of mind. And then you got stuck in traffic. Slowly you saw that traffic, your internal representation stage. Now your emotional state, which was very happy and confident, is slowly becoming irritated and anxiety. Right? Meanwhile, in that traffic, when there was no hope, suddenly 2, 3 volunteers jump in and they start resolving the traffic, and you see vehicles have started moving. Your internal representation changed. Your emotional state is now of hope. As vehicles start moving and the road is cleared, you start thinking about the meeting again. Your emotional state again becomes that of how to manage that meeting or that interview or whatever. Right? So within that one journey, how many times your emotional state changes? Continuously this change of representation, change of emotional state happens. When your emotional state changes, your physiology also changes. I repeat, when your emotional state changes, your physiology also changes. Meaning the way your body is also changes. Every time there is a change in the emotional state. When you feel sad, automatically you put your head a bit down, your eyes go a bit inside. When you feel happy and excited, automatically your body language is like this, sitting straight. Your eyes are like with a twinkle in the eyes and so on. Right? Emotional state changes, your physiology also changes. And this physiology reflects out to other people as your behavior. As your behavior. So every time you see something, hear something, smell something, whatever, so many things happen and your behavior starts coming out. This behavior that is coming out now passes through similar filters of the other person. For example, if I ask you, how was your day yesterday? Right? Please type in the chat box, how was your day yesterday? Let me ask you this. How was your day yesterday? Awesome. Fantastic. Lazy. Okay. Good. Top of the world. Energetic. Busy. Easy. Really? Those who said awesome, was your entire day awesome? Those who said energetic, was it entirely energetic? Those who are saying hectic, was the entire 24 hours hectic? Pretty good. Was the entire day pretty good? Fun and wonderful. Okay. Was the entire day fun and wonderful? No, right? What you did is generalization. You took the best 2, 3 moments of the day, created a word for it and gave it out. That's how you did. Now imagine how other people will receive it. If somebody asks you, how was your day? And you say, good. One person may think, okay, he had a good day. Another may think, क्या भाव खाता है? ठीक से जवाब भी नहीं देता. ये तरीका है बात करने का. I'm asking him, how was your day? He's just finishing it off in one word. What nonsense is this? The same answer can be perceived by 10 different people in 10 different ways, because whatever happened to you, you applied your filters, you stored how it was, you communicated, now it applies through their filters, they store it in somehow, then they communicate, which again applies through your filters. Imagine how much communication gets lost in this, right? For now, this much understanding, this is the communication model of the mind, and this is how our brain works, this is how things happen. Okay, this is how our physiology keeps changing, our behavior keeps changing. And once you get this right, once you understand the communication model, what to do about this understanding also will go. We're still good enough for time with us. Okay, but this understanding will do wonders to your communication. When wonders happen to your communication, wonders will happen to a lot more things. Okay, So this was the communication model of the mind. Just keep this much in mind for now, that things keep coming to us, we filter it, we store it, it changes our emotional state, hence our physiology, and comes out as our behavior. When that comes out to other people, they filter through their filters, their experiences, their memories, their values, their beliefs. They will filter it, they will store it in some form, and again it will come out as their communication. What to do about it, how to fix this? Mera filter alag, tumhara filter alag, what to do? We'll come to all of that. Okay. Before we move forward, let us have a look at one more important concept about learning, because that will help you throughout this course. Fine. And that concept is called the generative success cycle. Okay, the generative success cycle. So to understand that concept, we are going to take one more situation, a very important concept, a very powerful concept. If you get that right, it will help you not only through this training, but whatever you learn in general and your life in general. This will be very helpful. Okay, so let's understand how success or failure happens. Very simple, fundamental process. There is a deep thing to it also, but let's look at the fundamentals for now. Okay, I'll give you a situation, and I want you to type your responses in the chat box. Right? Imagine, mm, imagine there's a basketball match. Fine, you are the captain of the team. There's a basketball match happening. You are the captain of the basketball team. Now, those who don't know what is basketball, and I won't be surprised if there are such people who don't know what's a basketball. It happens perfectly fine. So, just for those who don't know, here is basketball. This game where you take a ball and throw it in the basket. Okay, fine. Now imagine there is a basketball match. Fine. And you are the captain of a team. Your match is about to start. You have 10-15 minutes before the match begins. Players have started assembling. They are reaching to the venue. And you get a call which says that one of the players is sick. Okay, one of the players is sick. It so happens that one of your players is shot. Okay, one of your player is not available, it is sick. Maybe the new virus has come in and the player is not available because of that. And now you want an extra player. Fortunately, you have an extra player with you. Every team has an extra player also, right? Now it so happens that that extra player tells you, I was yesterday all day with this player who thinks he is infected by corona. I was with him all day, so I am not going to take a chance. I am also not coming. I don't want to infect others. As a captain, you have to say, fair enough. You cannot tell him come and infect others. Now you are really one player short, which is a big disadvantage in the game like basketball. So you think, okay, I may not have well-trained players, but at least I'll take somebody from the crowd. Okay, so there are a few people sitting out there and you are the captain. Fine. So you just look at the crowd and there are two people sitting in the front row and you think I'll take one of them. At least I'll have somebody to help. They may not be as better in basketball as my trained players. Okay. So you talk to them. Now when you reach out to them, you see that one player is tall, 6 feet tall. Another player is short, just 5 feet. Okay. One is like 6 feet, 5 inches and all. Another is just 5 feet. Whom would you choose? That's the only information you have. You have no other information about these players. Whom would you choose? Obviously the tall fellow, because basketball requires that kind of height to put the ball in the basket. So you go and talk to the tall fellow and you tell him, listen, we have one player short and would you please join us? And the tall fellow says, actually, you know what? I have never played basketball, so I am not sure if I will be able to net the ball. मुझे पता भी नहीं कैसे खेलते. I have no idea. And this and that. You see that entire idea of low confidence in him. Meanwhile, the shorter fellow says, I can come. Even I haven't played, but I know I will do something about it. I will at least make sure that I make the best attempt to put the ball in the basket. Chal khelte. Let's go. Now with that much interaction, whom do you select? Obviously, now we will go for the shorter guy, because the shorter guy at least has some confidence, some possibility, some probability, right? Then it so happens that you tell them, okay, fair enough. We'll take the shorter one. You ask him, come in. We still have 15 minutes before the match begins. You can practice a little bit. Okay. So the shorter guy goes in, he takes the ball. tries to throw it into the basket. It doesn't go. But he's still confident. He takes the ball again, again throws, it doesn't go. Again throws, it doesn't even reach the basket. Again throws, it doesn't reach the basket. This happens 5, 7, 8 times. And the confidence you can actually see start going down. The starter guy is actually thinking, no, it's not for me. Probably I am not designed for this. His body language starts showing it up. Meanwhile, just for the sake of trial, that tall fellow also on the other basket was trying it out. He took the ball, threw the ball. Luckily, the ball goes into the basket. And you can see that happiness on his face, that confidence on his face. This is interesting. I should do this. He takes the ball, again throws. Luckily, it goes into the basket. Third time, luckily, it goes into the basket. Eventually, he realizes I have some magic in me. I think I can do wonders. Let me go for it. You are seeing, as a captain, you are seeing both these players doing these trials. Now, you have to make a final choice. Whom will you choose? Now, you again go back to the taller guy because you see possibility there, right? Now, you know why human beings are pendulums? Either फायदा उधर वायदा. Okay. Anyways, now the point is, let's understand how success works with this example. Okay. The way it works is, initially there is a belief. Okay. Some belief about anything. The taller boy thought I cannot play. The shorter boy thought I can play. They both had no idea. They have never tried it. This somehow happened to be there to see the match. Maybe with a third friend who was too excited. Belief creates potential. The shorter guy had a belief that I might do, so potential got created. He at least got an opportunity. The taller guy thought I cannot do. So the negative potential was created. He had to sit down. Now, because there was a code there, he went and tried. When you have potential, you take action. Both of them took an action of throwing the ball. Whatever action you take will produce some result. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative, sometimes useful, sometimes hurtful, sometimes in your favor, sometimes against you. Some result will be produced. Based on what is the result, the belief again gets created or strengthened or weakened. The shorter guy had the belief, he saw the potential, he took action, he threw the ball, the result was against him, unfortunately, and the belief started getting weaker. The taller guy also had the potential, he took action, it so happened that the ball entered the basket, the belief started getting stronger. This is how success works. Okay, you have a belief, you take action, and based on what is the output, you decide what happens further with you. How many times has this happened to you that many of you are probably doing something today in your life, as a job, as a business, as whatever, where you accidentally went. Just accidentally you went into something and now you are full-time into it. And then there are many of you who actually got trained on something for 4 years. You did a degree program in that and still you are doing totally something else because you realize this is not for me. The results are not in your favor. Right? So this is the generative success cycle. Fine. Here's the screen again for those who want it. You can take a screenshot, but we will share this with you anyways. Okay. Now, the next part of this. What we are going to see now is a lot more things about this. A lot more ideas, a lot more wonderful stuff, a lot more amazing discoveries that we will have through this. So now first let's understand what exactly NLP is. We call it Neuro-Linguistic Programming, but what exactly is it? How does it help you? How does it serve you? Right? How does it make wonders happen to you? How does it help you understand yourself, etc.? And for that, today, along with me, I have a very, very wonderful and a very, very amazing, renowned personality in NLP. His name is Mehernosh Randeria. A quick introduction about him before I hand over to him for some time. He's going to give you a lot of information. Mehernosh is a wealth, wisdom, and wellness coach. India's first one to be a combo of these three. He calls himself a W3 trainer or a WWW trainer, which is wealth, wisdom, and wellness. When these three things are right, everything is right. By profession, he is a chartered accountant and the cost and works accountant and the masters in financial management, and he has done some international diplomas and programs. And he is a certified financial planner and a chartered wealth manager and a qualified finance professional. That's the only education he has, if that's enough for somebody. But this was not enough for him. With all this education, he moved on. He took external learnings and trainings also. He is a certified coach from ACC. He is a certified trainer and master trainer of NLP from 3 different global bodies. He is an advanced gestalt therapy practitioner. When I did the Brainival program for the first time, when I started Train the Trainer program for my Brainival, which is the How to Read 100 Books program, he was the first one to jump on it and become the certified trainer of it. Gold medalist trainer of Musical Windows, a GTD trainer, a very powerful international program. He's a trainer of that. Not only this much, he is also a trainer of emotional fitness as well as physical fitness, which means he's certified to train you in the gymnasium as well. So a well learned, well known, well approached, well living person. And in the past, he has been serving as a vice president of finance for Legrand, director of finance for Johnson Controls, CFO for Nissan Motors, and a lot more wonderful stuff. And it so happened that at a point came in his life when NLP, he got introduced to NLP, and then everything in his life automatically became about NLP. He lives, he breathes, he eats, he sleeps NLP. So what I'm going to do is hand over to him for some time. He's going to give you some wonderful insights into NLP, and then I'll come back in the end. Okay. So over to you, Mehernosh.
Thank you, Pavan. So good morning, everyone. I'm going to open up the chat for some time so we can discuss and interact with each other. So welcome. And I'm sure you are enjoying the new learnings in the field of neuro-linguistic programming, getting to understand some new insights about how the mind works, how we make meaning out of things. And one thing you would have definitely realized by now, that our mind is a meaning-making machine. So let's quickly begin with a nice small fun activity. Okay, I'm going to put up a picture on the screen over here. And I would like you all to type in the chat box, what meaning would you give to this picture if you were to put some caption to it? Let's say if we were participating in a captioning contest. How would you describe this picture? Please type in the chat box. Okay, thank you everyone. Now please type in the chat box, how would you describe this picture? Photographic, journey, beautiful road, okay? Lonely walker, Jack Reacher, oh, the road less taken, miles to go, less travel, self-love. Photographer on the way to capture beautiful moments, okay? Calmness, lone warrior, take charge, walk alone, solitude with passion on photography, celebrating nature. War-laden land, dry, person returning home, vagabond, young photographer, less hope, no traffic. Photographer looking on a journey for best picture, lost, road to success, follow your dreams, beautiful landscape, Khana Badosh. Hey, one step at a time, enjoying nature, window of opportunity to grow more trees. Okay. Life is a mixed bag of sadness and happiness. Spending time with self, is there in sorrow, agricultural land, very nice photography, single person, lonely life, moving ahead. Okay, wow. Sky is the limit, happy journey, serenity, waiting to capture much more beauty. Wow, wow. Awesome, awesome. Explorer. Okay, okay, great, great, wonderful. Two shadows. Okay. Journey with self. Okay, wonderful. Okay, please stop. Aesthetic tree. All right. So now you all saw the same picture. And isn't it amazing how we got different insights to the same thing? What is happening over here? How come you are getting so many different ways to describe the same thing? Basically, it was a picture with a guy walking, holding a camera in hand, and a tree on the side, and open land. And yet, there are so many interesting ways in which this can be put. Soul searching. Okay. So, how come there are so many different ways of looking at it? What do you think? Depends on current state of mind. Yeah. Feelings, different filters, perceptions, learning model, how you processed it, perspective. Exactly. We have already understood that the mind is a meaning-making machine. The moment that picture is there, you are automatically making a meaning and trying to put something into perspective, relating to your experience. Yeah. Five senses is how you are visualizing it, but the way you are giving a meaning to it is coming from your meaning-making machine. What and how does your meaning-making machine work? Through the three filters of deletion, distortion, and generalization. Notice the application of what you just understood in the communication model of the mind to what just happened here in the group. Someone focused on the person, someone focused on the tree, someone gave a higher interpretation to it. Somebody went beyond what is seen in the picture to apply it in some other aspects of life, the road less traveled or the journey of life. Or someone noticed the shadow, someone noticed the aesthetic of the tree. So in any place, in any common life situation also, when we are trying to understand anything, I'm using the word understand, because we don't deliberately try to give a wrong meaning to things. And this was not a wrong meaning. It was a wonderful meaning. The way you all put it, excellent. I'm really impressed by your creativity and the way you brought in your different perceptions. So whenever we try to understand something, we are automatically deleting things that don't matter over here. Let's focus on what's interesting. Let's focus on that one thing. Now, when we say we focus on that, what's interesting, it could be something that is interesting in a positive way, or it could be something that is interesting in a way that we don't like. Everything is wonderful, but this one I don't like over there. Attention goes there and everything else gets deleted. So it can work in terms of highlighting the thing that we want, as well as maybe highlighting the thing that we don't like in a way that we delete other things that are already there, which are good for us as well. Or if we are distorting, we are doing a meaning making. What does that tree mean? Like if you scroll up and see the different comments, agricultural land, okay, or it is I'm just scrolling up, hope, person returning home. Where is the home over there? But it was a distortion that was made. Oh, distortion here, don't take a distortion from the way we understand distortion in layman language. Distortion means, making something bad. We are not talking about that kind of distortion. In NLP, distortion is anything where we connect or we associate one thing with another. That is simple what distortion means. Like someone making a face like this. And we understand it. We understand it to say that he didn't like what I say. In simple terms, that is distortion. Or someone saying making a face like this. And we say he was so surprised. That is distortion. Distortion, matlab, it is basically a association. Meaning making, right? And generalization is going beyond to say, wow, if the same thing would apply to the life, then what meaning are we making? Such a beautiful life, right? The road to success, the road to nowhere, whichever way you take it. Success, you're nowhere, but you're generalizing it that it's beyond just what you're seeing in this picture. You're extrapolating it much further. Yeah, the assumptions and all are coming from there itself, whatever perception we are making. Okay, so I'm just closing the chat for a while. I'll open it again. Okay. So now, what happened over here is basically NLP in application. Now, where NLP cannot be applied, everywhere NLP is being applied. One of the definitions of NLP is that NLP is the study of subjective experience. ये थोड़ा सा wordy definition है, a bit jargonish, but in simple terms, it means that how subjectively we make meaning of something. The way one person does something by giving meaning to something, the way one person looks at certain obstacles, the other person looks at certain obstacles, the meaning is different. So everyone experiences life subject to their own perceptions and understandings and meaning making. And how to make that work for you. When you understand how is it that someone is able to do something in a different way and you were not able to do it, or you were able to do something in a wonderful way that others are not able to do it. One is to understand kya chahiye, which difference hai. There is some difference that is making the difference. But then the next question is what to do with that understanding. How to take advantage of that understanding in the favor of us achieving whatever goals we want to achieve. That is what the study of NLP is all about. So one more question I want to ask you. I'm once again opening the chat for a while. Right now, when you put in your comments and other people put in their comments, you put in some perspective, other people put in their perspective. What happened in your mind when you saw other people's comments which were slightly different from yours? How did you process that? Please type in the chat box. When you saw other people's comments, what did you process? How did you feel about other people's comments on this picture, on this particular picture? Right now. You start thinking in that perspective, yeah, able to understand their point of view, a new way to look at it. Oh, wow. Okay, different point of view. So much diverse group. Oh, aisa bhi ho sakta hai. Yeah. I started looking for more details. There's something you had missed out. Okay, there are shadows. Okay, where are they? Let's look at that. For example, okay, that they are more intelligent. Okay. Oh, this can be looked at this way also. I'm happy there is another way of thinking too. Their way of thinking. Few wows and few, oh man, don't leave. Okay. Okay. All right. Surprise. That can be different meaning. It's nice. Why do they think like that? Oh, interesting. Yeah. Hey, I could not see it. How come I didn't think like that? Acceptance, state of mind. Felt a bit inferior as well. Okay. So much of diversity in thinking and observing. Yeah. Right. This was just a simple activity we did where each of you put in a different perception. And when you got a different perception to what you had put in, a different perspective to what you had put in, you wondered, wow, how come they think like that? Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, that is something interesting. So realize what happened in your mind when other people's comments came in. It was an interesting activity because this was more like a captioning, more about a creative thinking process that, okay, how can you put a different flip to it, a different view to it? So maza aaya, right? When you understood some other way of doing it. Now tell me, yahan tak to ye theek tha, it was fine in this activity. Tell me honestly, what happens in life, in day-to-day life, when you have a view of something? You state your view. Somebody else states another view to it. Someone gives another perspective. How do you feel then? In real life, we think everyone should think like this. That is stupid. Yeah, kya bakwas kar raha hai? Irritation, judgment, argument. We don't discuss. We ignore them. Yeah, hard to accept what others are saying because wait, I am telling you what it's looking like. How can you tell me it is something else? Real life, there are more stakeholder expectation, involvement that result in biased views. Exactly. Yeah. It is not a fun activity anymore. It's real life where stakes are involved. where your perception, your understanding is coming from your own experience, knowledge, education, who you are. How can someone come and discard what you are thinking? Ego पे लगता है कभी, right? Or at least it challenges what we are thinking. It challenges the way we have made sense of the world. It challenges the way we are doing meaning making of our world. Where does this attitude of wonder and all go at that time? Because it clashes with what we are thinking. Now, all I want you to start wondering about right now is, in that real life situation, when someone gives a different perspective, the way here everyone was giving different perspectives, how can you apply that same sense of wonder? Oh, aisa bhi ho sakta hai. I never thought about it. Could it be even possible? Before you jump to say that, no, what I'm saying is 100% right, because I know it, I have seen it, I have my experience, education, knowledge to back it up. What we fail to understand in that real life situation is that just as we are coming from so much of sure conviction because we have our knowledge, education, and experience to back it up, we forget that the other person also has their knowledge, experience, education to back up what they are saying. The difference that is making the difference is not in what is there that both of you are arguing about. The difference that is making the difference is from where each of you are coming. Your experience is there forming your perception, and that person's perception is formed by their experience. It is just that your experiences are different. It is just that what you have made sense of the world through the communication model of the mind, you have applied your filters of deletion, distortion, generalization. The other person has applied his or her filters of deletion, distortion, generalization. In NLP terms, we call it that everyone has their unique model of the world. Based on your own meaning making, you make your model of the world. Based on other person's meaning making, they are making their model of the world. Just as what we did right now in this captioning, when you saw other people's comments, you had a sense of wonder, curiosity, but at the same time, you did not let go of your caption. You didn't say, no, my caption is wrong, they are right. You just saw with curiosity, wow, how could they think like that? Same way in real life, I'm not asking you to drop your meaning making and say, no. Now that person has his experience, no, so his experience is right and better than mine. I'm not even saying that. Don't go to that extreme now. Realize that just as you had a reason for coming up with your perception, the other person had their reason of coming up with their perception. It is more about respecting that everyone has a different model of the world, which is unique from each other. That's the starting point. Uske baad you decide whether you want to argue or whether you want to discuss or whether you want to be curious to understand why what makes them think like that. The way you are curious right now. Okay, so that is just start thinking on those lines. There's lots more coming up. Just start thinking on those lines that how can we just apply this understanding of difference between perceptions and perspectives in our day-to-day lives. So continuing with that, NLP was formed by these two people somewhere in 1975 to 1980. That was the time when Richard Bandler, a student in the University of California, and John Grinder, a professor of linguistics in the same university, they got together and they studied people who were successful. And from their study of successful people, they devised that, okay, if someone can do it, anyone can do it, whatever that it is. If someone can achieve success, how can we figure out a model? What is happening in their mind? What is basically the difference that is making the difference that is making them do that? And how that can be used in day-to-day life to create more successes. That was the intention behind developing the field of NLP. It happened in a way that Richard Bandler, when he was a student, he was assigned a task of, transcribing the recordings of a very famous psychotherapist in those days. So the way history goes, this psychotherapist, his name was Fritz Perls, for those who are interested. This particular psychotherapist had passed away already. And the psychology community wanted to create archives and documentations of all the therapy sessions that this so-called stalwart had done. So the professors of Richard Bandler dumped him with a lot of audio tapes. Said that, these tapes contain the recordings of this particular psychotherapist who had done these sessions. What we want you to do is take a paper and pen and write down, document it, transcribe it. What was the conversation, what the client said, what the therapist said, write it down. Now, there were massive, huge amounts of tapes that Richard Bandler was given the task of writing. So, din bhar, raat bhar, full time he was doing that only. Now, while writing, while listening, writing, he used to play, rewind, fast forward, write, go back again, pause, rewind, play, write. Because there was no technology like speech to text and all in those days, he used to spend almost all his waking hours just writing. How many of you all here have seen the movie Munna Bhai, Lage Raho Munna Bhai? Where Munna Bhai goes to the library and reads books of Gandhiji, and then he starts becoming like Gandhi, talking like Gandhi, walking like Gandhi, talking Gandhigiri. Now, that was in a movie, but that is actually something that really kind of thing happened with Richard Bandler. He started talking, walking, mimicking like that psychotherapist Fritz Perls, to the extent that he would go into therapy sessions and bring about the same results that the psychotherapist had brought about. And that actually started shocking the community over there. The psychologists were wondering, this guy who is not even a student of psychology, how come he is creating results in therapy? So Richard Bandler was able to model the unconscious thinking patterns of Fritz Perls just by listening to it. Then Richard Bandler took those tapes, those documented versions to John Grinder, who was the professor of linguistics, language, and they put together a model and realized that it's more to do with the language that is playing a role over here. And they came up with this structure called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which means there are ways in which you can model successful behavior and bring it out. How do successful people think? How do they create those results? What is the difference that makes a difference? How to study that and make benefit of that? So that is how this field got devised. However, people think that psychotherapy kar rahe, so maybe it's more to do with possibilities of putting it in the field of psychology and psychotherapy only. But nahi, aisa nahi hai. It finds application in every field. As the story goes, later on, Richard and John, they happened to meet up, once they devised this field of NLP, they happened to meet up people from US military. And they said, we've come up with this wonderful field which studies the difference that makes the difference and brings about success in whatever you want to do. Any place where you would like us to help you out. So the US military happened to discuss that, baki to sab changa hai, everything is fine. There is one test that we have, which is like, not having that great results right now. The test is a pistol shooting test. And the current results of that test is that out of how many people get into that test, only 27% people are able to pass out in first attempt. Which means out of the candidates who go for this test, out of 100 candidates, only 27 people pass out. And 73% people have to reappear, retrain themselves. So there is a lot more energy, resources, time, money wasted in retraining and going through the test again. On both the sides, one part of the military as well as one part of the candidates. So see if something can be done to improve these results. That is what the US military told the NLP team. So NLP team said, okay, let's see what can be done. So Richard, John, and the entire team in those days, they studied people in the US military. They studied these 27% people who made the difference. And they figured out what is it that made it work for them. Whatever they studied, they documented that and they put it in the documented training manuals of US military as an addendum. That became part of the new training process for pistol shooting. When that happened, the results shot up. The results shot up from 27% to, what do you think? Type in the chat box. What is your guess? 27% to how much it would be? Yeah, 55%, 70%, 75, 70, okay. 100%. Yes, the right answer is 100%. The point here is, the question here is that whom did Richard and John and the NLP team study? Whom did they study? Did they study the 73% who were failing, who did not do well, to understand that why is it not working? Or did they study the 27% to see that what are they doing differently? The answer was the second one. They studied people who were doing things differently. They studied people who were creating the success. And they found out that what are those patterns in their mind that are happening as they are creating that success. The interesting question that comes up over here is, okay, what was so different that these NLP guys studied, which was not already there in the US military manual? The current pistol shooting test was already being trained by experts in pistol shooting. They were not novices, the trainers, the masters who were teaching pistol shooting. So what did these NLP guys come and do anyway? The point is this, that whatever was already there in the manual, in the training, was at the level of conscious awareness. Whatever was there already was what the conscious mind knew, okay, how to hold the gun, how to take your stance, how to look at the target, all that was there. What the NLP team did was, for those 27% people who are passing out, what is happening in their mind? What is the thought process at that point? What meaning making are they doing about that test, about their life, about themselves, about their capability, about the people around them? What are their belief systems? What are their value systems? And how can you imbibe that as part of the training? NLP goes beyond the conscious mind into the unconscious to understand that how the unconscious works. And that process, neuro-linguistic process, the neuro-linguistic programming process, is a blend of conscious mind working together with the unconscious mind to figure out things which are not even in your own conscious awareness. So that is where this was used. You can create the difference that makes the difference once you spot it. So what basically is NLP? We've been talking a lot about NLP. We've been discussing a few definitions also, some meanings also we are giving to it. Technically put, you can divide into three parts. Neuro, which is the thinking process, the way you use your senses, your five senses to understand what is happening around you. Linguistic, which is a very, very important part of NLP. The language that you use, the words that you use to communicate. And programming, your behavior, your patterns of actions, thoughts, ideas, how you are doing things to bring about the results. So like the generative success model, for example, that is all about programming yourself and figuring out the programming of successful people as well. Talking a bit on linguistic, when we said language, when I said it's all about communication, how you communicate something makes all the difference. And when I say how you communicate, who are we communicating to? We are communicating to other people, and we are also communicating to self. I have a question for all of you. How much of communication happens to ourselves and how much of communication happens to others? If we were to put a ratio on 100%, how much would that communication be? Is it 50-50? Is it 50 self, 50 others? Is it 10% to self, 90% to others? Type in the chat box. 99 to 1, okay. 70-30, 70 to self, 30 to others, okay. 20 to others, 80 to self, okay. All right, 90-10. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say you are driving, okay, or let's say you are walking on the road, and there is someone who comes on a bike with a helmet, and that person bumps into you. Okay, you are walking, okay, you are walking on the side path, on the footpath, और ये bike वाला चढ़ गया आपके ऊपर. Of course, you must have lost control or whatever. And what happens in your mind at that time? What do you think about that person? Fear, okay. What else? What do you think about that person who's there on the bike? What do you want to tell him? Can't he see? Yeah, anger, frustration, idiot. You start abusing him. He's drunk. Watch where you're going. Dikta nahi kya? Yeah, stupid fellow. Yeah, I'm reading out the comments. Yeah, confusion. Can't you see? Yeah. Okay, and you are totally angry on him. ये क्या वो फुटपाथ पे लेके आ गया बाइक को? What nonsense is this? And that guy, is then he's also talking to you, and then he removes his helmet. As he removes his helmet, you realize that he is your father-in-law, or the father of someone whom you love or whom you are dating. Now what happens to you? What are you going to tell him now? Helmet ke piche kaun tha? Now what happens? Now what do you tell him? Okay. Oh God. Okay. So what do you tell him? Trying to be safe but not thinking of other safety, feelings change. कोई बात नहीं. हाँ, you tell him कोई बात नहीं. It's my fault. मेरी गलती है. Be careful. Yeah, be careful, uncle. क्या कर रहे हो? Okay. It is okay. Yeah, होता है. Yeah. क्या हुआ? Are you all right? What happened to you? वो गुस्सा सब होगा मन में. But who are you communicating to now? Earlier, you were communicating to a faceless biker who was wearing a helmet. Now you are communicating to your father-in-law or your prospective father-in-law. From Dikta nahi kya tu, Dad, are you okay? Yeah, what was wrong with the situation? Yeah. Now, who are you communicating with? The person is the same. The person is the same. You are communicating with the meaning making that you have done about the situation as well as about the person. You are communicating first to understand what is this? What is happening? Who is this? And your reaction is entirely on that. And then you say, oh, okay, your reaction is entirely to the new changed version of it. Communication happens firstly entirely with self before even we think of communicating to somebody else. So this question, how much of communication happens with self? It's almost 100% of communication happens with self. It has nothing to do with whether you are an introverted person and that's why you're doing more of self-talk rather than meeting other people. I'm not talking about what roles you play or what labels you give to your personality type. I'm talking about day-to-day communication. Almost 90 to 100% of the communication is first happening with you before even you open your mouth to blabber out something that can communicate to other person. In the linguistic aspect of NLP, what is that communication that you are telling yourself? What are the words that you are using? That makes a lot of difference, that makes a difference. So, technically put, we can say this is the definition of NLP. But a simple one-liner definition would be that it is the art and science of success, because it's about understanding what is success, how people are achieving success, or you have achieved success in the past, or you can replicate that. Many more definitions are there. Some of them are on the screen. Some of them will be there in the notes, which we will share with you. In fact, you ask 10 experts in NLP to define NLP. You will get 20 different definitions for sure, at least. As I said, one of the definitions is the subjective experience study, which is about understanding how different people think that way. What are the filters that are operating in different people? How people organize their thinking, feeling, words, language, behavior, everything. Attitude of curiosity. That is not there on the screen here, but that is also one of the ways in which Richard Bandler has defined NLP. NLP is nothing but an attitude of curiosity. How come this happens? How come this person thinks like this? How come I behaved like this? How come I got that success? How come I got that fear? Understanding that and what to do about that. One of our favorite definitions, our most favorite definition is Baki sab chodo. It is about studying the difference that makes the difference and taking it further and doing what helps us to achieve success even in life. So very often people ask, that, okay, NLP se ye hota hai kya, wo hota hai kya? Like even right now, there are some questions in the chat box, how we can be more equanimous and centered with the help of NLP. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with NLP. A lot of times people ask, does NLP work? And my answer is that question itself is wrong. Because it is not, does NLP work? It is not whether NLP works or not. The thing is that everything that works is NLP. In fact, one of the definitions of NLP can also be put that NLP is the study of what works and then figuring out how to make it work for you. So, as I said, the history of NLP, when Richard and John got together and they devised this field, this wonderful, powerful, beautiful field of NLP, they had three main applications in mind. There were three main outcomes with which they devised NLP. One of that was modeling success. Like what happened with Richard Bandler and Fritz Perls. He was able to model the success of that gentleman. Modeling success, there are a few nuances I want to add over here. Number one, what is the difference between modeling and learning? The key thing when Richard Bandler started bringing about the same results as that renowned psychotherapist did, what surprised the psychotherapist community was that there were other people, other students who were trained by that same renowned psychotherapist. But they were not able to create that success. They were not able to replicate those results yet. And Richard Bandler, who was not even a student of psychology, just by understanding the unconscious patterns, he was able to bring about that same results. So think about a situation where there is a master and a learner. Okay, let's say you actually look up to someone whom you want to model as the role model of success. You go and approach that master. Hey master, I surrender to you. I want to learn everything. Please tell me everything. I'm coming with an open heart, an open mind. I will absorb everything that you say. Let's say the master is also very, very genuine, authentic and sharing. He says, yes, I will tell you everything that has helped me in life. I'll tell you everything that I have done in life. I'll tell you how I behave in every situation. It's a completely open communication, okay? Yet, what can come in the way of modeling the exact thinking patterns of the master? Think about it. This is my question to you. Type in the chat box. What can come in the way? Let's say master is also 100% open in sharing, and the learner is also 100% open in learning. Master is telling everything. Student is learning everything. Still, there is something which is getting missed out in that transfer. What is that? Okay, some people are saying self-doubt. Okay, let's say there is no self-doubt. I'll remove that factor also. Filter how you take. Let's say you are also very that is one of the things we learn in modeling basically. But let's say you are already very open and perceptive. You're dropping your own filters of deletion, distortion, generalization. You're becoming one with your master and understanding entirely from that person's model of the world. Yet, what is it? Sender, receiver have different meaning. Let's say the receiver has broken that barrier. Let's say the student has broken the barrier. Student is completely absorbed into the master's model of the world. What comes in the way? Understanding differs, how information is translated, application, communication methodology. No, something else I'm looking for. Self-view. What self-view? Whose self-view? Okay, I'll tell you. Listen carefully. I'm saying that even the student has agreed to drop his own filters and completely become one with the master and wanting to learn everything. The student says, I am nothing now, I'm become one with the master. Yet, what will come in the way is the master. Okay, stop typing and listen. The master will share everything. Everything that is in the conscious awareness of the master himself. Now process this very carefully. The master will share everything that is in the conscious awareness of the master himself. The master will be able to share what he is consciously aware of in his own behavior. What about those unconscious patterns of thinking, which even the master does not know, that he is himself competent in, that he does something so well that he is not able to put a pattern to it in a logical, conscious way? That is what gets missed out in teaching, coaching, mentoring, but what can get captured in modeling. And that is where NLP plays the role. How to identify those unconscious patterns, what happened in the mind, what meaning making happened, what filter of deletion, distortion, generalization applied. That is one thing. And there is lots more. What were the internal representations in the communication model of the mind you saw? The internal representations. When the master was doing meaning making of the situation, was the master storing it as a visual, as an auditory, as a feeling, as a smell, as a taste? What was the self-talk? Which are at the unconscious levels. वो master को खुद नहीं पता है आपको क्या सिखाएगा. But yet the master is bringing about the results. Just the differences that he is not able to understand or not aware about it. In NLP, you are able to understand that. And that is one of the deepest applications of NLP. Another nuance I want to bring out when it comes to modeling success. Modeling doesn't necessarily have to happen of somebody else. I gave you an example of a master and a student. You're looking up to someone. Wow, you did that so well. I want to learn from you. Okay, that is one of the main applications. Think about it. Are there times in your own life where you did something exceedingly well, surpassing your own expectations, and you realize, wow, how did I do that? Maybe you had to give a very difficult presentation or make a very convincing talk to someone. And आपने बोल दिया, हो गया, अरे वाह, कैसे हो गया? Have there been some times, or maybe you were having a anxiety, okay, whether I'll be able to complete it or not, or there was an exam you were giving? Can you all relate to this? Yeah, right? You also had some instances where in your life you had done it. You came out wondrously well, like you surprised your own self. Wow, I did it. Huh? Yeah, okay. Right? It happens. Or maybe you just had that wonderful, difficult conversation in such a way that everybody got convinced with your point of view. Simple as that. Or you applied for leave in a very difficult deadline wala situation and you got the leave and you wondered, bhai, kuch to kiya, hua, chalo mil gaya, acha hai. And yet that was in the past. Yet in the future, let's say there is something coming up like that again, and you forget that you had achieved that success in the past. And again, there is a new level of anxiety, nervousness, fear. Abhi kaise karenge? Kaise hoga ye? How will I do it? How will I manage it? It's so difficult to do. I'm very scared. One of the principles of NLP is that if someone can do it, anyone can do it. If that master can do it, that student can also do it. Another corollary of that is that if I have done it before, I can also do it again. How? The process is same. Model it. When you did it earlier, what were those things that happened in your own unconscious mind level that created the difference, that made the difference? The same thing, if you are able to figure out through the process of modeling, you can apply it in your own life and bring back the same success. That is the power of learning how to model success. And what success is and all, we'll look at that in some time as well. The second application was improving performance from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. It is like moving from, you are already doing well, and what next? The one thing that comes in the way of this improving performance is that sometimes we are already doing very well, and we don't see the need to do anything better than that. We don't realize there is even a possibility of doing anything better than that. We become our own barrier to greatness. The biggest enemy of great is good. Sab changa hai, everything is good. We don't even realize that what we are capable of. NLP helps you to figure out what is your full potential and how you can really bring that up, if you choose to. It doesn't say that don't be content with what you have. Be content with what you have and then realize whether you want to do something further or not. But even before realizing whether you want to do something further or not, it's important to realize, am I capable of doing anything further? Most people doubt that itself. The first thing is figuring out your own potential. Like when Pawan shared my profile with you, there was a time when I thought that way ho gaya. I've already achieved something and life was hunky-dory. I was already a VP finance in a French multinational company, already a chartered accountant, passed out in first attempt at all levels. Bhai, aur kya chahiye life mein? But then, with the help of NLP, when I realized, wow, so much more is possible, then you make a choice. Karna hai to karo, nahi karna hai to don't do, with a choice. Don't not do it because you don't know that you can do it. पता ही नहीं इसके लिए, चलो इतना छोड़ दिया. At least पता तो करो, कर सकते हैं, and then decide करो, ठीक है, करना है नहीं करना है, choice is yours. That was the second application. The third application was about fixing problems. Fixing problems, fear, anxiety, phobias. There are a lot of models in NLP that we learn that how to realize what is the problem and fix it further. Like the 73% who were failing in the pistol shooting test. How to change that. Where even all the cures to the problems that are there in the field of NLP, which are about fear, phobia, anxiety, whatever they are, the process of treating that has been observed, has been created, has been documented by observing people who have automatically, subconsciously changed that in their own life. One more thing we'll see between today and tomorrow is that NLP is not about figuring out why the problem is there. The NLP is about figuring out how the outcome, how the solution can be achieved. And who are the people who achieve the solutions. Again, to share an example from my own life, fixing problem. Right through school and college, I had a problem of stammering, stuttering. I wouldn't speak more than 3 words without stammering or stuttering like that. And I had a huge nervousness of facing people. Public speaking to bahut dur ki baat hai. That was like the shivers on. And today, when my school friends, college friends look at me and say, "Bhai, you are in the profession of public speaking," we could never even imagine that. And that transformation has happened thanks to NLP. When you realize what are the ways in which your mind is doing the meaning making and how you can change that and how you can work on that, definitely you can deal with whatever is coming in your way. So these are the main three applications of NLP. So right now it's been a while. We'll take a short break over here. It's 8:40. Okay, let's come back at 8:55, and we will take this further to understand some more interesting aspects of NLP. All right, so see you at 8:55 sharp. All right, welcome back. So, are we ready for more? Okay. Great. So, we have been talking a lot about this word called success. And how would you define success? A simple way to put it is getting whatever you want. Everyone will have their own outcome, some objective, some goal, whatever needs to be done to get that. That could be success. So it could be, when we say success, it could be in terms of a larger long-term goal, or it could be something that you want to do right now. You made sure you were here on time in this session. You were successful in doing that, right? So I want you to think about people who, according to you, are successful. Okay, it could even be you. Okay, in terms of whatever that definition of success it is. And tell me, what are the top 3 secrets of success? What do you think are those 3 pillars or top 3 things that make people successful? I'm opening the chat, so you can just select everyone and then type in. Okay, will, perseverance, consistency, dedication, upgradation, consistency, commitment, perseverance, respect to time, okay, clarity, courage, consistency, practice, mindset, promptness, getting what you want, okay, attitude, passion, vision, being consistent, determination, finish what you start, enjoying what you do, okay, singular focus, all right, confidence, mindset, consistent, good observer, belief system, self-talk, being organized, start at least, okay, positive attitude, all right, dedication, consistent, defined goal, take action. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So I'm just closing the chat. You can still keep typing. I'll see it. But now let's pay attention over it. So whatever you have put, somewhere will fall into these 3 categories, what you're going to see over here. Okay. The first one, the first key top secret of success is what we call in NLP as outcome orientation. In simple terms, it is being super clear about the goal that you want to achieve. Having absolute clarity about what do you want, where are you going, where are you headed to. See, doing something is one thing, but then having that reason, the purpose of doing that is more important. For what are you doing what you're doing? What is that end goal? Successful people are very clear about what they want. In fact, as we go ahead, we'll be seeing an entire module on how to create your outcomes, how to, even someone may say, but I don't know what I want. How will I be successful? So how to get your mind to train into, to develop into what exactly you want, how to create that clarity is what we will see as we go ahead. Now, getting what you want, there is one important principle to understand in that, especially when it comes to achieving your goals. There are a lot of processes of goal setting, but goal setting is done by the conscious mind. The goal getting is done by the subconscious mind. So people who are successful are very clear right up to in their subconscious patterns that, okay, what is it that I will get when I do this? What is it that I want? Super clarity. So that is one main pillar. Second is being observant, as someone had written, sensory awareness, applying your senses, your 5 senses, to be aware about where you are right now, what is happening around you in the world around you, what is happening in your own life, what meaning making are you doing. So understanding the difference between observation, what you are gathering through the 5 senses as we saw in the communication model of the mind, and what filters are you applying by default to make sense of what is happening. How are you feeling about things around you? What are your perceptions about yourself, about your capabilities, about people around you? What do you notice in people around you? What feedback are you getting constantly from the situation, from your own body, from your own mind, and from people? How do you interpret that situation? How do you interpret that feedback, that day-to-day meaning making? Before you get into meaning making, what are the things that you are capturing through your five senses? All of that is sensory awareness. And then what we have is the third thing is called as behavioral flexibility. How to be flexible in your behavior to get what you want. So one is, if I put it this way, before I explain each of these further, if we take an analogy of you wanting to go somewhere. Okay, you are moving out from your house, you want to go to a certain destination. And let's say you are new to that route. What do? You'll open up Google Maps. First thing Google Map will ask you is, where do you want to go? Destination. That is outcome orientation. Second thing it will ask you is, where are you right now? That is sensory awareness. And third, it will give you all various ways of going there. You can take this route, you can take that route, you can go walking, you can go by car, you can go by train, you can take public transport. All options will be there. Now you apply your behavioral flexibility to decide which one to choose based on your situation. The same principle applies in getting whatever you want, being successful in whatever you want to be. So these are the three main pillars. When we talk about behavioral flexibility, it is not just about flexibility in your behavior as in your action, but also the flexibility in your own mindset, in your way in which you are doing meaning making. So through your sensory awareness, you realize that, oh, this is the meaning making I'm doing by default. Is it serving me or is it not serving me? If it's not serving me, what changes I need to make? Even in my meaning making, even my thought processes. Same thing applies to actions. I know where I want to go. I know where I am. I have put a path in place and I'm taking that path. As I take the path, I realize, but I'm not getting where I want to get. So do I need to change the path? Can I be flexible about my path? Can I be flexible about my ways? Who are the people I'm dealing with? What do I need to do to get work done from them, to get their buy-in, get their support? What is it that I need to do? So applying these three pillars, you can achieve success in whatever you want to achieve in life. These are not only the top 3 secrets of success, these are also the 3 pillars of neuro-linguistic programming. Whatever we will study in NLP will be based on enhancing your outcome orientation, your sensory awareness, as well as your behavioral flexibility. I know a lot of people were asking questions in the group, but how can I do this? How can I do that with NLP? How can I achieve blah, 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 whatever you want? I understand where you're coming from. And I know you are typing that because that is important to you. All that you have mentioned, my answer right now is yes, NLP will help you to achieve that. And this is a longer program, so we'll take it in step by step. You will see how to get there. And till then, keep the curiosity alive to see that how you can achieve whatever you want with the help of NLP. All right, so with that 3 key pillars, let's move further. We'll do another interesting activity. Okay, I'm going to show a picture on the screen. And this time it's not a captioning contest, so don't type in what interpretation or what caption you want to give it. Look at the picture and type in the chat box. What do you see? I've opened up the chat, so type in the chat box. What do you see? You, anger, okay. Blaming, angry face, blaming, yelling, emotion, aggression, frustration, I made mistake, angry, you, excited, yelling, self-blaming, emotion surge, guy challenging, can you do it? Motivating, coach motivating, forceful assertiveness, Pointing, mistake. Pointing at me, expressing emotion, acting, blaming, I will show you, commanding, attack, motivating, singing song or one step of dancing. You are the reason. You are the one who can do it. It's me. Okay, awesome, great. Shouting. Okay. You surprised with anger. Okay. Okay, stop typing. Stop typing. Okay. Now, listen to my question very carefully. I'm repeating the same question again. Listen, stop typing. What do you see? Please type in only what you are seeing. A man pointing finger, a photo, a ball fellow, a finger pointing at the person opposite him, a man pointing at you, finger, eye, half bald man, picture. Type in only what you see. Angry man, do you see anger? I'm repeating, type in what you see. Posing with a pointing finger, okay? A man pointing finger, pointing, open mouth. Calmness, you see calmness? You just type in what you see. Okay, man pointing at you, mouth open, few teeth seen, gray t-shirt, round neck t-shirt. A man, a pic with a man who seems angry. What do you see? Frustrated face? No. What do you see? Do you see frustrated? Do you see frustration? You type in what you are seeing. Understand the meaning. Frozen man pointing finger at me. Okay, pointing finger. Angry? Do you see angry? Forceful you can hear that. Red nose, white beard. Accusing? No, please type in only what you see. Okay, stop. All right. One finger towards me, other fingers towards him, man pointing finger, I see a picture. Okay, stop. Negative emotions. Wait, I'm telling you, type in what you see. Are you seeing emotions over here? All right, now stop typing. Salt and pepper beard, less hair. Yeah, okay, stop. Now, broadly, if you look back at the comments that were typed in earlier, the first round and the second round, when I paused and told you, listen and type in what you see. What was the difference between the way you typed in earlier and the way you typed in later? What was the difference between the comments the first time around and the second time? Emotional versus physical. Judging. Second time was exact. Minus the distortion. Earlier was more about the context. Second time was the content. Minus perception. Yeah. So realize that. Great. Good. We heard you what was required. Pehle bhi wahi bola tha boss. Earlier also said the same thing. Type in what you see. I even clarified this is not a captioning contest anymore. Yeah. So what changed? You all are absolutely right. Earlier you typed in the meaning making, anger, frustration, blaming, accusing, saying you. Sunai diya? Did you hear it? Type in what you see, which means okay, his mouth is round. I don't know what he's saying. You bol raha hai, kuch aur bol raha hai, kya pata? Okay. Whether he's even saying or just mouthing it. Interestingly, the first time, if you scroll up, some people said angry, frustrated, blaming, accusing. Some people also said motivating. Some people also said the dance step. Someone even said acting. So, what is the reality? What is the truth over here? What exactly is he doing? We can only guess, right? Which means these are all assumptions only. The first time we all assumed. One of those assumptions were right. We don't know which one. We don't know till we go and ask this gentleman, by what do you mean? What are you doing? Kehna kya chahte? Till then, we can only assume. But if I tell you, type in what do you see? What you see is a baldish man, fair guy, wrinkle on the face, pointing a finger, mouth rounded, nose twitched, grey t-shirt. That's it. और क्या है? That's it. What happened over here, let me tell you, is not to kind of put you down and say, okay, see, yeah, you don't even get so much. That is not my intention over here. I am only highlighting the common way in which we think. First time I did it also, probably I would have done the same mistake. It's not a mistake. It is basically the way we naturally react to things. Even if we have, even the requirement from us is to tell what we are seeing, we can't stop but do a meaning making. Because we know things, right? We are supposed to know. We are expected to know. How can we stop ourselves from sharing something that we are supposed to know? And we go all out and we say, oh, this is what it is. Gussa hai isme, anger hai, khadus hai, nagging guy, ziddi. We give all kind of labels. But okay, that label is one thing. On what basis you gave the label? Because I saw him doing like that. You saw him. How does that seeing? How does that mean this? This is nothing but distortion. Associating one thing to the other. The very fact that even in the first time everyone typed, there were different ways to look at it, right? From being angry to dancing. It just meant that all of them were only assumptions. That just meant that whatever you came up with the first time could be just one possible way of interpreting it in that particular way. Which means there could be other ways of interpreting it as well. So tell me, type in the chat box, where did those first interpretations come from? You already typed the difference. I'm not asking that. The first one was interpretation, second was observation. Now my question to you is that where did those interpretations come from? How did you come up with all those interpretations of anger or dancing or motivating or acting or shouting or blaming or frustrating? Preconceived notions, our past, our experience, our mind, of course, our habit, what we have seen, right? We have seen enough of life to know that this kind of a expression means so and so thing. But really, where have we even paused to find out? Perception. Yeah, all of this, conditioning, that's what we have seen. What we have, it either comes from what we have seen or what we have learned about what a certain thing means. Tell me one thing. Look at me. If I'm sitting like this, if a person is sitting like this, what does it mean? What is it supposed to mean? Type in. Reserved, closed mind, not open, stuck, arrogant, not open for discussion, not ready to accept, bossy, closed, comfortable, resisting, serious, obedient, quiet, feeling cold. It can mean anything, yeah. Now think about it. Most of you have written it as defensive, closed, not open for new things. Where did all this come from? Where did your this understanding or this interpretation come from? Body language, right? We have learned about body language studies. We have learned books. We've read about body language. We know about hand gestures. We know what it is. Now, understand one thing. Body language studies are not wrong. Body language studies are made up of majority of observations. Majority could be anything between 75% to even 90% of the time. So this is the situation. Body language studies say that this is supposed to be a closed person. भाई बाकी का 5%, 25% का क्या हुआ? Will you put everyone in that category and generalize that no, this means close person? Think about it. Even right now in the chat box, there were multiple comments that some said feeling cold, feeling comfortable. Some people are just comfortable sitting this way. Which means there is another way to interpret before you jump to your normally understood, learned, or accepted ways of thinking. Or some it could even be just a habit. Yeah. You've done a course on body language, so that is not wrong. This is where body language differs from NLP. NLP says that, okay, there will be a majority that will help you to somewhere make a guess, estimate. Probably ऐसा हो सकता है. But NLP says that don't be so sure कि वही है. Don't be so sure that because I've read it somewhere, because I've seen hundred of times that this means close language. Maybe through experience, I know people who are khadus and sitting like this. There could be another time where a person is sitting like this and he's not khadus, he's not that close, he's very open and comfortable, just that he feels comfortable this way. Or maybe he feels more open to learning this way. Yeah, that's right. We are not flexible to give it new meaning. And that is what I'm inviting you to become now. So if I were to ask you, what is the key learning you got from this small activity that we just did? What is the key learning? Type in the chat box. Never judge. Don't assume. Don't label. No judgment. Don't assume. Observe carefully. Stop generalization. Openness. Uncondition the mind. Different people have different way to see. Always have open mind. Great. We have to be open to invite new meanings. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful learnings. Thank you all for sharing. Validated. No immediate judgment. Don't jump to conclusion. The learning, if anything over here, I want to iterate. Okay, please stop typing. The key takeaway from this is not don't assume. I will not tell you don't assume. Because you cannot not assume. Please note this. You cannot not assume. Our mind is a meaning-making machine. Automatically, the filters of deletion, distortion, generalization will apply. Automatically, you will make assumptions. You cannot not assume. The learning from this is become aware of your own assumptions and question those assumptions wherever needed. Become aware of your assumptions. What are the default assumptions I'm doing? In a meeting, I'm presenting something and one team member makes a face like this when I'm creating a new idea, when I'm coming up with a new idea. He didn't like, he's jealous of me. ये सब दिमाग में जो चलता रहता है मीनिंग मेकिंग, ये ऑटोमेटिकली होगा. ये होगा. Suddenly कुछ change नहीं हो जाएगा. Now tomorrow you will stop assuming anything. That is not going to happen. You will still assume he's judging me. He doesn't like me. He's jealous of me. Become aware कि ये assumptions चल रहा है. And ask yourself, is this assumption correct? Could there be any other reason of him making a face like this? Could it be possible that he just, at the same time, he got recollected of a fight he had with his wife in the morning? And he made a face on that thought, not on what you said? Could it be possible? Could it be possible that he liked the thought, but he's figuring out, भाई ये बोलता तो अच्छा implement कैसे करेंगे? Could it be possible that he's thinking about ways of implementing it and making that face, thinking at the constraints that are going to come in implementing such a wonderful idea? It could be possible. Or could it be possible that he didn't like what I say? Even that could be possible. Mind you, I'm not saying that what that first thought came to you as negative is wrong. It could even be possible, but it is only one of the possibilities. I'm not saying everything that you're assuming is wrong and therefore change all your assumptions. I'm saying please validate your assumptions. A term in NLP for that is calibrate. No matter how many times you have seen a certain kind of gesture, meaning certain kind of interpretation, every time it's a new calibration. It's like when you step up on a weighing scale, the first thing you want to do is what? You want to see whether it is 0. Whether the scale is showing 0 only, then you will step on it. Otherwise, it will show you a wrong weight. That is calibration in simple terms. In real life also, calibrate. How will you calibrate? Type in the chat box. How will you find out कि exactly दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है? Asking. Simple. पूछो ना भाई. A lot of miscommunication, misunderstanding, and relationship gaps happen because of not opening your mouth and asking. Hey, you did that. ऐसा क्यों किया तुमने? क्या चल रहा था दिमाग में? What made that change in your physiology? Hey, you shifted from here to here when I said that. You want to share something about it? When you calibrate, when you ask, have that attitude of curiosity, a genuine curiosity when you're asking. Hey, I saw, when we were in that meeting, no, and I made that point, you did a face like this. Kya hua? Share with me, no, what happened? You want to, do you think I should know something that I'm not aware of? I would like to understand from you. That's it. Asking is not like that. Hey, you made that face. I know you didn't like it. Bol mujhe. Kya acha nahi laga? Don't put your assumptions in what you're asking, boss. Ask open-ended. What did that mean? Have that curiosity and demonstrate that curiosity. I'm genuinely curious to know, okay, what happened behind that movement at that time? What is that going on? And this exactly is what is sensory acuity. Sensory awareness that we spoke of as one of the key pillars is this. Some people will not give truthful information. We will find out as we go further how to extract the truthful information also. But if your starting point is that nahi main puchega to the person will not give truthful information, then you are creating your own barrier first even before starting. Your answer could be valid. Now, how to do that? All that is coming up. Step by step. First step in your mind, please be clear to understand the difference between observation and interpretation. Become aware of your own filters. Apply your awareness on what you are observing and what you are assuming, and be open to challenge or at least validate your assumptions. Then how to ask, how to be in Rampo as we ask, all that is coming up. So step by step सब आएगा. How to find out if people are denying or lying, or if they are answering angrily or they don't like what you're asking. Sabka jawab milega. It's a longer course ahead to be continued. So all that will come up as we go ahead. Now, when we talk about calibration, calibration mein what exactly do we calibrate? Sometimes like you mentioned, someone is saying, they will give untruthful answer, or they will deny, or they will answer angrily. Again, there will be some giveaways which will tell you what they are saying, what they mean by what they are saying. But again, there will be a sense of estimation, a sense of guesswork in that as well. When you are trying to make sense of whether the person is lying or hiding something. There are certain things that people are hiding by, probably showing up a false smile. अंदर से गुस्सा है. All types of facial expressions are coming up. And sometimes people make physiological movements that they use for hiding their real emotions or real feelings. But there are some changes, there are some physiological changes which are very, very difficult to manipulate consciously. These are some micro movements in body. Like a person, you're talking about something and the person just shifts. from one place to the other. वो shifting के पीछे भी कुछ है. Now, when you observe, you figure out, and you find out, you ask questions intelligently. There is an entire topic on the art of asking powerful questions. Firstly, figuring out the point where it's a point to ask a question, or what would be a powerful question to ask at that point. But how to notice and what to notice is very important. So what do you calibrate? What you calibrate is basically things that are mainly unconscious giveaways. Somewhere changes in the voice. The voice tonality may just change, or it can just change the flow of the voice. The speed of the voice changes when you're probably nervous about something, or you're trying to or there is a sudden emotional shift. Remember when we did the communication model of the mind, when Pawan was taking you through that, the internal representation is the deleted, distorted, generalized version of what actually happened. That internal representation creates an emotion. That emotion also creates a physiological change. That physiology could even be in the voice. Suddenly gala सूख गया. क्या हो गया? Notice, calibrate all of this. What could be happening? The tone of the voice, the loudness of the voice, the inclination, the way a person is inclined in one direction, towards the right, towards the left, slouched forward, leaned backward. What do all these things mean? Or sudden shifts कैसे होते हैं? Breathing, the rate of breathing changes. I want you all to start observing these in people around you. This is going to be one of the homework for today. Eyes, eye movements. It is said that the pupil of the eye dilates when you like something or when you like someone. But there is more to eyes. We'll see an entire topic on eye movements tomorrow. Skin tone, the blushes, the skin going red, the size of the upper lips. Notice all that. This is just a one mind map to show all of this. We'll share this with you in the notes tomorrow. So all these things are to be observed. The problem that happens is that we don't observe. We are often too much in our own head trying to make meaning of what the other person said, or trying to be prepared with what we want to answer the other person with, the retort. वो बोलने तो दो उसको. And when the person is speaking, like someone had mentioned in the chat box, be present. Be present in the moment with the person. Meet the person where they are. Observe all these things. Before you start conjuring your own response, or even get into your own deletion, distortion, generalization filters, which will happen automatically, but still, observe. Your homework for today is, in your surrounding, what all can you observe? Meaning making baad mein karna. Just start noticing what all things are there. What all things are you automatically deleting otherwise? When someone is talking to you, note their facial gestures. Like I remember, I'll give you two examples over here from my working life. There was one manager who I worked with. Whenever he came for a meeting and whenever he had to present, he made a starting point. Said that nobody in the meeting room will sit with arms folded, because then you are not open to listening. I know all this. In his mind, he's saying, I know people when they're sitting with arms folded, to mera idea koi sunega hi nahi. So everyone sit with arms open. Now, that is an incorrect calibration, because you don't know which people in that room are actually able to learn better by actually keeping their arms folded. There are such people as well. We call them as kinesthetic learners. They like to be in touch with themselves. When they're in touch, they're able to absorb external information. That's one of the learning strategies with it. Now, if you insist that no, for me to make a new point, everyone has to keep their arms open, then actually you're doing a disservice to them and to yourself also. Because you're not enabling the learning. You're not enabling the intake of information for them. Because somewhere your body language science studies or whatever you have learned in your life says that, nay, this will not be helpful for me. Not necessary. Another example I want to share with you is another one from my life where I was working with a manager and I was observing, like, whenever there was something which was something that he didn't like, whenever a proposal was put by someone or maybe any kind of idea, anything that he liked, the facial expression was normal, natural. If he didn't like, no, irrespective of whether what he communicated to the other person, he may have outright rejected it or he may have politely said, हाँ ठीक है बाद में देखेंगे. But on his face, if he didn't like something, there was a expression like this. Look at this. A very, very minor micro movement of a twitch. And quickly it would go away because then he would try to hide it with something else if he's trying to be polite or if he's talking to a boss like that. But this is a giveaway. Again, does that mean that every time he does this, he will not like it? Improve your accuracy of guessing by calibrating each time. Listen to this carefully. Improve your accuracy of calibrating, but improve your accuracy of guessing by calibrating each time, which means each time he does that, see, notice, is it true? Find out. Finding out could be by asking questions or asking other ways of finding out, which we'll see later on. Even if the person has done a particular gesture 100 times, be open that the 101st time could be something different. So every time it's only improving the accuracy of guessing. You're not making a claim to read someone's mind. We are just guessing. Okay, so that's your homework. Observe what all you can capture around you, what all different things you can see, and things that you have been omitting, not paying attention to, even in talking to people, even in your environment on a day-to-day basis. And we'll continue with an interesting new topic with Pawan now. So let's welcome Pawan again. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Hey friends, welcome back. Hope you all had a great time. How many of you learned something new today? I'm sure all of you. Otherwise, you won't stick for 2 hours, right? 2.5 hours. Okay, good. So let's move on. Let's take it forward. A couple of wonderful things that you're going to see today, and then a lot more tomorrow as well. Okay, great. I can't unmute you. A couple of people are asking, please unmute. We'll come to that. We might do a Q&A after I'm done with my topics. But in the middle, if I start Q&A, then the topics will go far away, right? So let's get going. Let's get moving. We're going to look at another powerful and very interesting topic about how much we speak with ourselves and how much we speak with others. What we speak with ourselves, what we speak with others. How we perceive what we speak with ourselves, how others perceive what we speak with them, and so on. Okay, so we are going to look at a few elements of it today and then a few more tomorrow. First, I have a question for all of you. How much percentage of our total communication, if you look back at your entire life, okay, till now, how much communication of yourself is with yourself and how much is with others? And Mehernosh has already talked about this. 100%, 90%, 70%, 100%. Most of it is with yourself, correct? Still some are saying 50%, 1%, 80%. Okay. I would say all your communication that you always do is with yourself. All the communication that you always do is with yourself. 100% of your communication is with yourself. Okay. We'll come to some examples about this as we go forward in the course. Fine. And I'll prove this to you. Okay. Mehernosh has already talked to you about bike wala example, the Sasurji, right? So you know that 100% of your communication is with yourself. In that case, the words that you use become even more important, right? What language you use, what words you use becomes even more important, even more necessary to understand. Why? Primarily because all your communication is with yourself, which means you are the receiver of all you send out. And if you are the receiver of all you send out, better send the right influence outwards. Correct? So let's have a look at a few examples of this, of how you can change your language to empower yourself. Fine. Let's begin with one example here. All of you think of one thing that you wanted to do or want to do, but you cannot do as of now. Okay. And once you have that thought in your mind, I want you to type it this way in the chat box. I cannot swim. For example, if I want to swim but I cannot swim, then write I cannot swim. If you want to dance but you cannot dance, I cannot dance. All of you. For this exercise, guys, your entire participation is important because you're going to see things happen, change within you right now. Okay. So type in the chat box, I cannot, followed by that one thing. Something that you want to do but cannot do. I cannot fly. I cannot travel. I cannot code. I cannot be hospitable. I cannot dance. I cannot do business. I cannot understand share market. I cannot drive four-wheeler. I cannot play a guitar. I cannot remember. I can't do public speaking. I cannot not dance. Okay. I cannot forgive. It's scrolling very fast now. Even my speed reading is taking a challenge now. I cannot be successful. I cannot say no. Interesting. I cannot write a book. Wow. I cannot play piano. Interesting. I can't drive. I can't talk to two people at a time. Interesting. I cannot convince others. Okay. I cannot be happy. Super. I cannot flirt. That's interesting. I cannot sing. I cannot go to Himalayas permanently. Okay. Fine. Now, all of you who wrote this down, okay, all of you wrote this down. How did it feel when you wrote this? When you wrote I cannot and something, how did it feel from inside? How did it feel? Felt sad, limiting, disappointed, a bit of negativity, guilty, helpless, regret, correct? Discomfort, all negative emotions, correct? You call it whatever, regret, guilty, helpless, all negative emotions, fine? No hope at all. Now, I want you to write the same sentence in a different way, okay? And by changing the language you use with yourself, without lying, this is not about false lying with yourself. I won't tell you to write I can fly and then you will fly. That won't happen, right? But without writing, without changing the context, without changing the truth, just by telling the same thing in a different form, see what happens inside you. I want all of you to type the same sentence once again. I want all of you to type the same sentence once again, followed by comma, yet. For example, I cannot swim, comma, yet. I cannot drive, comma, yet. As you type it, see what happens inside you. I cannot dance yet. I cannot code yet. I cannot convince yet. I cannot flirt yet. Cannot do public speaking yet. Good. All of you do this. Type that sentence with the limitation I cannot so and so, then type it I cannot so and so, comma, yet. I cannot forgive yet. I cannot be happy yet. I cannot achieve my dreams yet. As you type this, as you even think of this sentence, I cannot do so and so yet, what happened in your mind? What changed? A possibility got created, a hope got created, a belief got created. And these are all positive emotions. Did I change the reality? Did I tell you to fool yourself, lie yourself? Not at all. The reality is still the same, but what happens is there are only 3 tenses taught in the school, but there is a 4th tense which your mind understands. The 3 tenses, what are the 3 tenses taught to you? Past tense, present tense, and future tense. Correct? And then there are sub forms of it: past perfect, perfect, continuous, this, that, whatever. Okay, I'm not too much into grammar because I care for the language of the mind, communication model of the mind, right? So you were taught past tense, present tense, and future tense. Okay, when you say I cannot swim, which tense are you talking about? You're not talking about past tense because you were not able to swim. You're not talking about present tense because you're not able to swim. You're also not limited to future tense because your mind tells you you won't be able to swim. You are talking about permanent tense. This is not a part of grammar. This is what we have created. There is something called as permanent tense. When you say I cannot swim, what you do is in your mind you create a permanent statement. In the past I was not able to swim. Today I am not able to swim. In the future I won't be able to swim. The moment you put comma yet, this entire limiting belief, while still a reality, in your mind goes in the past. It shifts itself. From I cannot swim, it goes to I cannot swim yet, which means while this was the reality of the past, while this is the reality till now, at least the future is open. At least that possibility is there. The moment you start giving that possibility to your mind, what happens is now your mind starts creating solutions. Now your mind starts creating thoughts, creating ideas, creating probabilities. Okay, in that case, if I have not been able to swim yet, what can I do to be able to swim from here on? What can I do from here on? Does that make sense? So every time you make a limiting statement, please follow it by yet. I cannot reach office in time yet. I cannot complete my assignment yet. I cannot do this yet. I cannot do that yet. I cannot cook yet. Right? You may or may not immediately fix it, but the possibility opens, and everything that you have ever done in your life has first happened inside your mind. And then you have did it. Okay? Everything that you have ever done in your life first happened here. So if the right thing happens here, the right thing will happen outside. If the limiting things happen here, the limiting things will happen outside. Be very much aware of this permanent tense. Well, Mehernosh has already given you one assignment. One more thing that we want you to do is simply be aware for the next few days until it becomes your habit to use the right language. Simply be aware of the language you are using, and you will realize how much limiting language we use. Okay. So just by putting comma yet, you move everything from permanent tense to past tense, which anyways nobody can change, but the future becomes open to change. Okay. More such examples I'll tell you shortly. We are going to look at a few more power words, and then one such statement that all of us so easily make, thinking that we are really empowering ourselves, but we actually disempower ourselves. We are coming to all of that shortly. We still have a good 15 minutes to go. So stay here. Meanwhile, just some instructions for tomorrow. Same time, 7 to 10 in the morning. We are going to continue this. A lot more learning is coming your way. The Zoom link remains the same. What you have, the timing remains the same. And this course doesn't get over tomorrow. This goes on for the next 5 weeks and entirely free attendance for all of you. Don't have to pay anything to attend this course. Okay.
Okay. So next 5 weeks, it's not just today and tomorrow, although in the invitation we said that it's going to be the next 5 weeks, every Saturday and Sunday morning, 7 to 10. How many of you are already excited with new things that you have learned today? How many of you think you learned something new, something awesome, something more important, something useful today? Awesome and all is not required, but useful. It has to be useful, right? Whatever you learn has to be useful. Super. Is the voice good? Somebody saying voice is echoing. Okay, cool. So let me tell you a few things about this course as we move forward. NLP, this course that we are conducting, NLP has benefited me, Mehernosh, and many other people a lot. And we thought this needs to be taken to more and more people. And then under knowledge and karma, we made this course absolutely free. Just like my speed reading courses, my memory courses, my productivity courses, we decided to put NLP also under knowledge and karma and make it free and open to all. So this course is open, free for all. Today's recording I will put in the group. Tomorrow onwards the recording won't be available. Today's recording I will put because some of you might have joined today and you might know a few more people who will benefit from this. So you can share the recording with them. They can see it today and then tomorrow onwards they can also join the course. It's open for everybody, not limited by age, by caste, by nationality, by whatever. Anybody and everybody can join this. Okay. Now this course, as I said, goes on for 5 weekends, every Saturday and Sunday from today, 7 to 10 in the morning, and then it will be followed by a Q&A session. So if you have any queries, questions, generally we don't take queries in between when we are speaking, because then sometimes it gets too much diverted and then the topic at hand takes a suffering. So Q&A will be after the lecture is over. And we generally do an infinite Q&A, which means we are here until the last question is answered, which means you don't have to worry whether you will get a chance to get your questions answered or not. Your questions are definitely going to be answered. We are generally here until the last question is answered, except for one odd day where, there may be other priorities, but more often than not, that's how our Q&A works. Apart from that, after this course, there is a certification as well. Some of you already started putting in the chat box, give recording for the entire course. Yes, you will give recording for the entire course also, but there is a different way for that. So this course also ends with a certification, which certifies you as a practitioner of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, as an NLP practitioner. This certificate holds a lot of value, holds a lot of advantage into your resume, especially for all those people who are directly into people management or who have to deal with people. Dealing with people can mean team management, can mean sales, can mean a lot of things, right? So if you have to deal with people, then this certificate adds a lot of value and they're going to certify you as a practitioner of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Although the certificate will require you to complete an assignment, submit that assignment, and only then the certificate is given. You don't get certificate for logging into Zoom. We need to know that you have actually learned. And this certificate is aligned with multiple international NLP bodies, which kind of testify the quality of the training you have taken. So for that, we have to follow their processes. Hence, you have to complete an assignment, submit it to us, and then we can certify you. The certification is not free of cost. The entire course is free of cost. Anybody and everybody can attend this course live for the entire tenure. There's no stopping there. The certification comes at a small investment of only 2,000 rupees because it involves us going through your assignment individually, giving you feedback, and then certifying it. So that's why there's a small investment of just rupees 2,000 for your certification. The live course, I repeat, is free and open for all. Now, when you join for certification, when you upgrade your course for certification, you also get the following things. Number one, you get to join a WhatsApp group, which will be specially created for those who are going for certification, which means every week you will be able to create your own practice sessions with other people in the group, practice with them, learn with them, and then come back to us the next week. And that way you will have more questions to ask and more clarity to get. So that's one thing you get. So an exclusive group is created for those who join for the certification. Now, this is a 5-weekend course and we are all human beings and we love excuses. So there will always be an excuse on at least one weekend. Today I had this, today I had that, so I could not attend. Those who miss a certain lecture here and there can always attend the next time we do. However, those who want to get certified and those who sign up for certification don't have the choice of missing the lecture, because only when you complete the course you get certified. So those who join for certification, they will also get access to all the recordings of the course on our portal. We will put up all the recordings, and every time the lecture is over, the recording is put up there for you to see, for you to review, and then you can go through that recording before the next lecture happens, so that you are again current and you are in line with the course. So when you join for certification, you get that also. But however, we want you to make sure that the recordings that you take should not be a replacement to live attendance. When you attend the course live, you are really focused and into the course. When you go for a recorded course, then you know what happens. You will see 15 minutes now, half an hour later, and all that, and then you don't get that continuity of the learning. Learning doesn't happen that way. And that's why we generally don't give recordings of our programs. Here, because there's a certification requirement, we are giving it. So the recordings will be given for those who sign up for the certification. What is important is you still look at the recording as an exceptional use, which is available for you in case you miss a lecture, or in case you didn't have internet, or in case there is an emergency, at least you have something to cover up. Fine. Apart from that, there are a couple more additional advantages when you sign up for certification. We will share all that information on the group. For those who want to sign up, Mehernosh will share a link on the chat box shortly. You can make your payment there. And regardless of whether you join the certification or not, you all are welcome to complete this course. This is awesome knowledge. This has helped me, Mehernosh, and thousands of other students that we have been teaching for the last so many years a lot. So we invite you to complete this course. Now that you have started, you have taken a wonderful decision, make sure that you complete it. Completing this course will definitely do wonders to the way you deal with yourself, with others, the way you behave, the way you grow professionally, personally, socially, and all of that.
Good. So with that, let's move on with some more power words. Yes. And this one that I'm going to tell you now is going to completely change the way you think of language. Ready for it? Okay, Mehernosh has already shared the link. You can save the link. Now, you have learned some awesome things today. Do you agree? How many of you learned something awesome today? A lot of you. Wonderful stuff. Useful knowledge. Right? Now tell me, all this wonderful stuff that you have learned, do you promise to do your best to implement them? How many of you promise? Type in, I will do my best to implement them. Type in the chat box. Don't just say I or raise your hand. Type, I will do my best. I need that commitment. Only those who type will get access to tomorrow's meeting details. Okay, wonderful. Good. Now see, so many of you typed. I told you, will you do your best? And all of you typed, yes, I will do my best. Now, see how language fools us. Let me ask you this. When have you heard people using this sentence, I did my best? When they were successful or when they failed? When do people generally say, I did my best? After success or after failure? Think about it. After failure, right? Generally, when they say fail, they say, I did my best, but you know, this happened, that happened. It is more of an excuse. I did my best is generally followed by failure. So now tell me, should you do your best? This is the power. This is what we do. We just randomly accept what people say without giving our own thought to it and prepare ourselves for more and more failure unknowingly, unconsciously. I did my best is not a power statement. I did my best is the most common or the most unknown or a stupid excuse that people have ever used in their life. But then the question is, if I should not do my best, what should I do? Acha, do you also know that generally if you have a really good dream, a large thing to achieve, your best is not going to be enough? Do you also know this? More often than not, your best is not going to be enough. Do you agree? Yes or no? Your best is not going to be enough. You will have to go beyond that. Your best is your comfort zone. So replace I will do my best with I will do whatever it takes. Replace I will do my best with I will do whatever it takes. If you have a certain dream to achieve, you have to do whatever that dream takes to achieve, whatever that goal takes to achieve, whatever that learning takes to achieve. Not your best. Your best is not going to be enough. You have to go beyond that. And just by saying I will do whatever it takes, it doesn't happen. You have to do it also, but at least let begin with saying whatever it takes. Your best is inside a boundary. Whatever it takes is outside the boundary, and that is where you have to go. Now write down, I will do whatever it takes. And this one sentence for the next few days, say it 10 times in the day. Whenever you are starting something, I will do whatever it takes to do this. Does that make sense? Okay. Now another small assignment for you. You saw the power of the word yet. You saw the power of this one sentence. Okay. Now I want you to think of these three words. Try, the word try, the word but, and the word when. W-H-E-N. Try, but, and when. Just think for yourself, what do these words do? You have probably heard about this already. We'll put some light on it tomorrow or maybe later in the course. But try, but, and when. Just think for yourself. What do these words do? Do they empower you? When you tell your child, try to do this, do they empower you? When your employee tells you, sir, the time is very less, and you tell them, I know the time is very less. Or the employee is telling you, and you're telling them, but still try to do it. What is the message you are giving? Think about it. Okay. Second thing, has this ever happened that you gave feedback to somebody, but that person took it as a comment? Or sometimes the person asked for the feedback, then you gave a feedback with very good intention, but that person got hurt because he thought you were commenting on the person. You did it with very good intent, but the person didn't like it. He was like, how the hell can you say like this? Has this happened with you? I'm sure a lot of times. How does that happen? You want to give feedback, but it's not working. What is the right way to give the feedback? What is going wrong? What could be missing in your feedback that makes the person thinks it's a comment? All of this and a lot more we are going to see as we move forward into the course. Okay. So the certification link is with you. Those who want to join in for the certification, make sure you do that today. So the WhatsApp group will be created later tonight and you all can be added. It is worth it because you'll get the recorded access also. And you're going to make wonders with this course. Thank you so much for joining today. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock sharp for another wonderful part of this training. Today's video, I will share on the group anyway, so that you all have access to it just in case you join late. Or if you think there are more people who can benefit from it, you want your family members, friends to see, then they can also see and join in tomorrow. But tomorrow onwards, we are not sharing the video. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. We will now open the forum for questions and answers. If you have any queries, questions, you can raise your hand. There's an icon to raise your hand. I am also enabling the permissions to start your video. I'm making the chat private now so that when I put my video, my certification link and my phone number here, it doesn't scroll up with other people's messages. Mehernosh, can you please put the certification link again? And I'm also putting in my WhatsApp number. Those who are not in the group where we are sending updates for this training, drop me a message. We'll add you there also. Okay, good. So we'll take up your questions now. Just raise your hand. There's an icon to raise your hand and we'll unmute you one by one. Any queries, questions you have, we'll take it up. And then we will call it a day. Antima is saying, can you repeat the assignment again? Antima, the assignment is number 1. I want you to write your own story. How do you see yourself? How has your past been? What is your future? What are your goals and dreams? What has been helping you? What has been stopping you? What are your limitations? What are your strengths? A little bit about yourself in a free form. The more you write, the more useful it will be, but at least 2-3 pages it has to be there. Don't write in bullet points. The second assignment is I want you to think of these 3 words, try, but, and when. What do they do for you? When you use these words in your communication, what happens? Okay. Okay. Dr. Shilpa, your question.
Sir, wonderful course.
Thank you.
So I have got 2 questions. You said about this affirmation, whatever it takes. So I just missed out. When do we have to do it? 10 times today or like always?
In general, keep telling yourself. It's not an affirmation. Whenever you start something,
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you think, you used to say, you will do my best. You start saying, I will do whatever it takes.
Wonderful.
Right? You
Right.
start a book and you tell yourself, I will do my best to finish this book. Now you tell yourself, I will do whatever it takes to finish this book.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's like it should be permanently carved and used.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Sir, my second question is, I've heard so much about NLP and little bit idea I got today, but if you could tell more with clarity, what would be the benefits of NLP application? I'm still not getting it clearly. So especially if you can tell for me, I'm an entrepreneur. So what can be the applications of using NLP?
Look at NLP in its three parts. Neuro-linguistic programming. Okay.
Hmm.
Neuro means thinking. Linguistic means the language. Programming means the behavior.
Hmm.
Now, as an entrepreneur, do you need the right thinking in yourself, in your
Yes.
staff? Do you need to imbibe the right thinking in your customers and vendors? Right? How will
Yes.
you do that? Through your language. The language you use with your customers, vendors, staff, the language your staff uses with each other, with people outside, how your sales people talk with your customers, how your purchase people talk with your vendors is going to decide how they respect and support your organization. Correct? And the
Yeah.
behavior, your behavior, your staff's behavior, your organization's behavior.
Hmm.
Behavior programming means behavior. How
Correct.
do we
Okay.
respond to things that happen outside?
Uh,
How do we communicate? How do we put out our message? Okay.
right. Right. Huh.
All of this. See, for
Neuro.
example, let us say there is a customer care call. Something happened with your customer and he's talking with your customer care. Fine. And the customer is saying, are you do you understand the seriousness of this problem? And your care says, yes, I'm definitely understanding the seriousness of your problem, and we will definitely work on it to fix it. What is
Hmm.
the message I am giving?
That I don't care or
I
I'm
don't
not
care for the
attentive.
seriousness. I am on my phone. But
Huh.
instead of this, if I'm doing this and the customer says, do you understand the seriousness of this problem? Of course, I do understand the seriousness of this. And
Hmm.
we will do whatever it takes to resolve this. By the time you get up tomorrow, this problem will not be existing.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, this language, same words, right? Of course, we care for your seriousness, but same words in a different body language. So it's not just body language, it's the tonality, it's the body language, it's the words that you use, it's the behavior that you put out to people. All of this. Okay.
Great. So
Then
this
the
appears.
application, wherever you think thinking, communication, and behavior applies, NLP as an
Hmm.
application. And this applies everywhere, whether it is your business,
Everywhere.
whether it is parenting, whether it is people management, whether it is social circle, your friends, family, everywhere it has an application. And more you will know as you go into the course.
Right. So this makes me understand I don't have to learn anything more about human resources or anything, right? So no special training is required if I can know all this. So am I right?
No, you might still need some special training on a specialized domain.
Huh.
Okay. For example, dealing with people you will know, but we are not going to teach you how to make salary packages
Hmm.
more attractive for your employees. वो
Hmm.
आपको किसी ह्यूमन रिसोर्स ट्रेनिंग में सीखने मिलेगा. Okay.
Okay. Huh. Huh.
But how should your
But
employees think about
general
salary, वो मैं
things,
सिखा दूँ.
general things I can. So, sir, I just want to ask you, whatever is this 5 weeks course, so will that make me capable of, like, will that make me expert and capable of handling all the things, or there's something more in that?
The course will make you capable of a lot of things.
Okay.
Anything where you have to deal with people, this course will help you for sure. Anything that you have to deal with internally with yourselves. There are so many limiting beliefs that you will have for yourself.
Hmm.
Okay. There is phobia of something, there is fear of something. How do you fix that? There are a few things in your business that you like to do and you like to do them very well. There are a few things that you don't like to do, but you have to do.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
How do you do that? There are a few food items that you like to eat, but you know they are not healthy for you. How do you change that liking? There are a few food items that you don't like to eat, but you know they are needful to you. How do you
Hmm.
start liking them so that you can have them? Not instead of forcefully having them,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right? How do you create? How do you structure your language? How do you identify where your challenges are in your environment, in your beliefs, in your values, in your identity, in your thinking, where they are? A lot of it is coming. Let the course take its own flow. and definitely a lot of things will turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, and my a small thing is that I want that screenshot, sir. I missed taking the final screenshot. So of that picture where the filters were there. So you said the notes are going to be available somewhere. So where is
We
that?
will share the notes of this also. We will share it on the group.
On the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Difference.
The
There is a
difference
group
that
of.
makes the difference group.
Right. And my last thing is that, sir, I have also signed up for this reading challenge, 5 weeks
Yes.
reading challenge. Now this is also 5 weeks. I hope that is not overwhelming or then confusing.
The
So
reading challenge is about reading. That you will
yeah,
do
so
any which
it
ways,
will parallelly
right?
take its own course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are not conflicting at all.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
This
Great.
course will only happen Saturday, Sunday. Reading challenge is 20 minutes of reading every day.
Yeah. So there's not going to be every like 5 days of assignment here also in this?
No, 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 no. This will
Okay.
have a small assignment after every weekend, and all the assignments here, a
Hmm.
little bit, maybe 30, 40 minutes worth of assignment is what you have to do as an assignment. Most of this is you start using this in your day-to-day life.
Hmm.
Okay. Your assignment is not to write whatever it takes 20 times on paper for 20 days. No.
Hmm.
Your assignment is in your work. Start telling yourself in your work, in your life, whenever you're starting something wonderful, I will do whatever it takes to complete it. उसके लिए अलग time निकालने का जरूरत नहीं है.
Right.
Right? We did not tell you to write an essay on how to be outcome oriented, how to improve sensory acuity, how to have your behavioral flexibility. No. What we are telling you, just start
Observe,
aware
speak.
of this, be aware, start observing and start implementing in your life. That's it.
Right.
The assignment here is more what you do in your real life, not on paper and stuff.
Right. Got it, sir. Thank you. Great.
Sure. Yes, Gayatri.
Thank you. It was a nice session.
Yes, Gayatri.
Am I audible?
Yes. Are you on two devices?
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Thank you. This was a nice session. Thanks for that. Accept my gratitude, both of you. I also made the payment. I want to know how much practice or in day-to-day life or daily, how much it will require to become perfect or
You practice 24 hours a day. You will still not become perfect. Does that help?
okay.
The idea is not to get perfect.
You are
Nothing in
talking
this world
about the
can make you
lifestyle.
perfect. It can make you much better and better and better and better. Number one.
Yeah. That's
I don't
there.
want to give you false dreams. This will make you perfect and all that. Nothing in life can make you perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Second thing, how much practice is required? Explicit practices. See, first of all, let's understand the word practice. I will talk about this tomorrow, but let's understand the word practice. What is practice? When a doctor says, I am a practicing surgeon, does he take a body every day and practice with it? When a chartered accountant says, I am a practicing chartered accountant, does he take dummy accounts and practice every day? Does a practicing lawyer tell his family member to become a judge, let me practice every day? No. Practice means do it. Whatever you learn here, you do it in your day-to-day life. That is practice. Don't give a heavy meaning to the word practice. And that is why people don't practice, because they think it is something that you have to do separately, take time out, sit and do it. No.
Yes.
In your day-to-day life. Can you change your language? Very simple. Instead of telling your people around you, your employees, your children, your family, try your best to do this. Can you tell them, do whatever it takes? Yes.
Yes.
Can you simply change a little bit of your behavior to focus on the outcome? Yes. उसके लिए अलग practice की क्या जरूरत? It is in your day-to-day life.
That's nice.
Make sense?
Thank you. Thank you. I have made the payment. Please
Sure.
make sure.
Yeah, we'll add you. By late night today, you all will be added to a practice group as well.
No problem. Thank you. It was nice, Pawanji. Thank you.
Pleasure.
May we leave now or what? For
You
how
can
long?
leave. If you want to learn from other people's questions, you can wait. Otherwise, the training is over. You can leave.
Thank you.
Rajeshwari Ranganath.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for
Hi.
this beautiful session. I have two questions. First one is we have to start observing from others' body language,
Mhm.
like whether it is true or not. So when that was a assignment that was given this week, but my question is, we just start observing every day. Will it not will our behavior not be changed to be very judgmental when we always see people and always think like, why are they like this or like that? Will we not
Did
become
I
more
did
judgmental
I tell you to observe their body language, to judge them?
as a part of calibration, like how to understand that?
Exactly. You do that to calibrate, not to judge them. Judging means you coming to a conclusion directly. Judging means reading their mind. Calibration means generally I see when I go to my boss's cabin and when my boss is in a happy mood, he's generally sitting like this. Generally, I see when my boss is a bit irritated, he's sitting like this. Now, this you will know over a little bit of time. At least you know next time when you enter the boss's cabin with a request and the boss is sitting like this, you rather talk something else and get out, request can come later. But if you see your boss like this is a good opportunity. Chances of getting your request approved are high. There are no guarantees, but the chances improve. Does that make sense? This is also calibration. So whenever you are talking or dealing with people, it's not about judging them.
Okay.
You trying to know more and more of what they are doing and you registering it in your mind and using that information at different times. The way a
Okay.
person speaks changes based on that person's mood. Your tone right now when you are asking a question will be different than when you are answering a question to somebody else. Okay? And then when you gauge this, when you start looking at this information, you kind of know beforehand what changes you need to do in your communication. Okay.
Okay.
More
Sir.
of this
Okay.
is coming. You will know more and more details, more and more ideas. This is just this is not even the tip of the iceberg.
Sir, can you define the word calibration?
Calibration means seeing the way it is.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing
Okay.
things the way it is. For example, you see that your colleague in your office, let us say, uh, behaves a certain way in a certain situation. Okay. When the
Okay.
deadline is tight, the behavior is a bit different. When the deadline is relaxed, the behavior is a bit different. Okay. Now, based on this or this example that I told you about the boss. Okay. Generally, when
Yeah.
the boss is in a good mood, he sits like this, and angry mood, he sits like this. Okay. Now, let us say
Okay.
there is a team outing. Fine. You go to some restaurant for dinner, the entire team is there. Okay. And your boss is sitting like this. Does that mean the boss is not in good mood? Not necessarily. It could be that this is his behavior in the office. Outside, it can be different. You have to calibrate again. Is this how he behaves
Okay.
outside or is it a different thing? Don't jump to conclusions. Don't judge. That's the whole idea. The idea of reading body language is to avoid judgment, not to make judgment.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. More of
Yeah,
this
I
is
got it.
coming. You will have got lot more things. Okay.
Thank you so much for clearing it, sir.
Sure. Lipi Sharma.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the
Hi.
session. I had a question that I'm moving into like a mindset and a spiritual coach domain for myself and how I can use NLP for that. So I've signed up for the certification, but I wanted to like understand from you how I can
Okay.
put it more into
This
implementation.
is kind of a very wide question. I can only tell you how to implement when I have taught you that topic, how to implement this, how to implement that. Correct? If you join a course on cooking, let us say, I cannot tell you how you can use this course until you have learned one recipe one by one. Correct? Same
Maybe I
thing
can
here.
ask you later.
So it will happen as and over time, but keep your curiosity alive.
Yes, sir.
Okay? A lot more is coming.
Thank you.
Ashok Khurana.
Hello,
Hi, Ashok.
good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So my question is कि I could not hear because I was traveling और कि how long this course would be और ये कितने week तक होगा, so वो कुछ clear नहीं समझ पाया. And you told कि this is the free of cost, but if you want certification or you have to pay 2000 for the same, right?
Correct. ये 5
और
Saturdays और 5 Sundays
can you
होगा.
make that 2000 payment tomorrow? There's a
Yes.
provision for tomorrow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Certification
तो
का payment है.
idea बताइए सर कि how long it would be?
5 Saturdays,
और कब
5
होगा
Sundays. 5 Saturdays. आप सुन रहे हैं क्या बोल रहे हैं? 5 Saturdays और 5 Sundays आज से लेकर 11 फरवरी तक. ठीक है? Morning 7 to 10. And my genuine request is attend the course only if you can sit and attend the course.
Right.
Okay. ये ट्रैवल करते समय, खाना बनाते समय, बच्चों को नहलाते समय, मीटिंग एक साइड में चल रहा है जूम पे, ये एक साइड पे चल रहा है,
5 Sunday, right?
हाँ, तो ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, फायदा नहीं होगा, टाइम बर्बाद होगा. तो 5
Right.
Saturdays, 5 Sundays, please make yourself available and attend.
7 to 10.
Yes. All details
Okay.
we are sharing on the group. Have a look at the group once again. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Gayatri.
Yes, I want to know if you are including some meditation practices also in this course or what?
No.
It's like mindfulness. You are talking
No.
about non-judgmental
No.
things like
No,
that.
no.
Not like that.
Systems, techniques, and methods are there. There is no meditation
Techniques and-
practices in this course.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
And we will be having some
No, I'll do that.
notes and
I'll have
all.
to confirm with them.
Sorry.
No, someone else was talking.
No, उनको mute कर दिया मैंने, बोलो.
Okay. I was telling that we will receive some notes or something for more study. Or
Yes.
repeating. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any more queries, questions? Let me check the chat if there are any questions there. Yes, Swati.
Yeah, so as you mentioned about the certification for this course, so you also mentioned that whether it's internationally certified also. So can you just brief me more about that certification and its tie-up with the international
This
level?
certificate is recognized by ANLP, which is a UK-based NLP body, and ABNLP, which is a US-based NLP body. So this certificate allows you to register on their website if you want to as NLP practitioners. Get accredited with them.
So for us, if we enroll for the certification, that the entire thing will be done by you. So we will just get the certificate, right?
We will not do anything. We will teach you, then you will do the assignment, then we will verify the assignment and certify you. After that, if you want to get enrolled on their websites for your profile and other stuff, then those bodies will of course charge you a small enrollment fee and all, which you have to directly deal with them. The certificate makes you eligible for enrollment.
Okay, okay, got it.
But not everybody needs to enroll because you, as long as you can put it on your profile, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Generally, hardly 1 in 100 people go for enrollment there. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, Gayatri, go ahead.
Can I become trainer also in this if I practice or I practice it after my
देखिए
practice?
ना, हिंदी
After
मूवी का
my
डायलॉग है, अभी आए, अभी बैठे, अभी दामन संभाला है. You have just arrived. Okay, hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Becoming a trainer is a 2-year journey.
Okay,
Okay,
yes.
but yes, you can become.
But
The
there is
short
a
answer is
possibility.
yes.
There is
Of
possibility.
course, if I can become, you can become. वही तो NLP सिखाता है ना. If somebody can do it, you can also do it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Okay.
There is a
Means,
possibility. You have to
means
go
the
through the
course you
process.
have designed is foolproof. I want to know that.
This course doesn't make you a trainer.
Okay.
This course is for you to implement NLP for yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Training के लिए लंबे courses होते हैं.
अच्छा.
That is only if you want to become a trainer. अब पहले सीख तो लो क्या है.
I see.
फिर सिखाने का सोचेंगे. ठीक है.
Okay. Well, thank you.
सारिका चौहान.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi. Sir, I just want to know, like, I want to register for this, but as you said, weekend, 10th Saturday and Sunday will be till 11th of February.
Correct.
So, the assessment, is there any like deadline for the assessment? Because in the
Yes.
first week of
The
February,
assignment will be shared with you somewhere in the middle of the course, so you can start working on it. The assignment
Okay.
is already there in the course manual also, which we'll be sharing with you shortly on the group.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the deadline for the assignment is generally 1 week after the course is over. So once the course is over, in 3 to 4 days, you have to submit the assignment. And then in the subsequent week, we do a convocation session ceremony where we certify you.
Okay, so after 11th of Feb, 1 week we get that
Roughly
buffer
4 to
period.
5 days you will get. Most of your assignment, 80% will be done through the course itself. Only what happens in the last session of the course, you will probably work on the assignment after the course.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Nikki.
Pavanji,
Yeah.
there are three things I wanted to check with you. One thing is, while we are doing the course, can we decide if we want to do the certification and then do that later?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The other thing you
The
mentioned about
only advantage of doing that now is you get more time with your practice group. The separate special WhatsApp group where we will let people practice with each other. That group we are adding only those who are signing for the certification, because those who are really going to take it till the end, we want it to be there. Other people can of course attend live. So the late you join, the less time you get with that group. The earlier you join, the more time you get. But yes, you can sign up anytime. That is not a challenge.
Okay, and these will keep happening during the year, I hope.
No. We had done this course free of cost for almost the last 8 months. And this is the last batch we are doing free of cost. This will keep happening over the year, but we have chosen to make this a paid course again.
Okay, okay.
We had
The
already
other
made this a paid course, but all my previous people who always wanted to join but never joined, when I told them it is paid, they finally said, please one time, and we made it free one more time. It will become a paid course from the next batch.
Thank you so much for that. The other thing you mentioned about enrolling with the UK and the US bodies, how would that help? Would that help us if we want to actually become a NLP practitioner?
Only if you want to become a coach who is going to work with corporates and need to show accreditations,
Okay.
which is like 1 in 100 people who do a practitioner course. You need to sign up there, otherwise it is not required.
Okay. And I actually wanted to do one thing at a time. The speed reading or the NLP, what do you suggest I begin with?
Both are so
First.
Powerful.
Yeah,
But they are
both are
not causing
important.
each other at all. Speed reading is a one-time thing. You learn it, you are done with it. NLP will go over the 5 weeks. Okay. So you can continue what you have started.
I mean, I just feel there are too many things to focus on at the same time. So, and I think both are important. So I just needed your help to decide which one do I pick first to begin with.
Both are equally good. Reading will help you learn, NLP will help you learn.
Okay.
So I won't be able to give you that choice. However, if you have already started something, finish it. Very simple.
Okay, thank you.
Finish what you started is a good way to do. Dr. Shilpa.
Sir, overall, I'm very, what we can say, inspired and impressed by the way you are taking the courses. The speed reading was amazing. This one is amazing. So I'm really interested to know the entire calendar for all the other courses that you have in the year so that I can place, because now I didn't know about these 5 weeks. So now things are clashing. Two weekends, I will have to see the recordings, which I really don't like. Even you say that it is not a good idea. So if you could give me the calendar, give us the calendar. I really want to enroll in all your courses.
मैं खुद नहीं जानता मैं अगले वीकेंड में क्या करूंगा.
I would request you, please, आप कुछ अगर वैसा plan कर दो तो हमारा भी planning में, I would prioritize your courses
Okay,
first.
here's my recommendation for now, because you have already taken the reading challenge and this course. Until these 2 are over, don't do anything. I will have other courses also happening. Okay, but don't do anything until these 2 are over. Don't mess yourself too much with getting, and don't get overwhelmed. Knowledge and karma courses keep happening and keep repeating. You can always join them the next time. Okay, so for now complete these 2. So any which ways you have nothing to do until mid Feb, only these 2. उसके बाद का कैलेंडर वो टाइम पे मैं दे दूंगा.
नहीं वही है तो अभी it's not only courses, there are some other family related things which are coming up. One or two were like this that I would not have probably signed up, but I have signed up. So इसीलिए not only up till February, but उसके आगे का भी अगर आपका calendar मिल जाए for other courses में, you have clarity and I will block those dates. So
ठीक है.
that's good to
Once
know.
I have the dates, I'll tell you the dates. I'll keep posting them on the WhatsApp group, the knowledge and karma group. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. And sometimes there will be conflicting times also. For example, this course is happening right now. The speed reading is also happening in parallel right now. वहां पर भी मैं ही सिखा रहा हूँ, लेकिन वो मेरा वीडियो चल रहा है. So if they are conflicting, don't bother, thinking how do I do all of this. एक time पे एक. learn it, use it a little bit, then you will also be motivated to learn the next one. नहीं तो क्या है, सिर्फ सीख रहे हो और यूज नहीं कर रहे तो फायदा नहीं. Yes. Any more questions? Good. Thank you so much for joining in. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock to continue this wonderful journey. Okay. Have a great time.
Bye. See you tomorrow.